Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy Jack here at the Irish Hotspur, here to deliver you that fan show. Got plenty in the background, so I will get to it right away. And then they're going to be nice and patient, but plenty of people to discuss this Man United preview, as well as a bit of good news regarding Richarlison. Everyone, David, unfortunately, is not well today. I kind of decided to give him sort of the day off because I know, he could kind of exacerbate the injury. He could make it last a bit longer. So decided to kind of give him his own Richarlison treatment, have him take some scans and see if he can get back before the Man United game. Giving him maybe actually more of a Kulusevski treatment is probably a better way to put it. But everybody, good to see you all. Do smash that like button while you're in here. Sorry that the countdown started so late. Already kind of amateur hour today. Even had some issues with the headphones and whatnot, but we're gonna make it a good evening. Don't you worry. And like I said, plenty already in the back on everybody. So do smash that like button. Do hit that link as well, everybody. The link is in your community section for everybody with that fan show membership. But let's get to the comments, see what they have to say, and then we'll get straight to the fan show. Frank Glass, this is a test. Hope 352, but we will see. Come on, you Spurs. Hi to all of the chat and all the flat caps. Pick yourself up, Frank. And it looks like Antonio Conte still enjoys though that the 3-4-3. He even kind of alluded to it with the likes of Brian Hill Messi being potentially available for the upcoming game, as well as Lucas Moura and whatnot. So he did kind of allude to the fact that he could use the 3-4-3 still. So it still seems to be his preferred formation, I could say. Big up, Sue Smith. Good to see you in the chat. Must get everything from OT. Notorious bogey. From Old Trafford. Notorious bogey ground for us over the years, with a couple of notable exceptions. Did the double on us last season, which was pathetic. Pathetic because it got the sack of Nuno, and then also pathetic in that it felt like we were in a really good groove last season when they got that 3-2 win against us. And I don't know. It's just Ronaldo kind of sensationalism, but also, I don't know. It just felt like Spurs actually didn't put in that bad of a performance against United. It was just Ronaldo just absolutely took over Sue Smith, and it's really good to see you. Come on, you Spurs. Mick Hermlock in the house. Good to see you, and really appreciate you always tuning in, my man. Big up, Phil. Hopefully you can tune in later and be able to hit that link. I want to speak to you, my man. Big up Dave and Jack on the night shift tonight. So can't make it. No worries, Phil. No worries. A great 3 points for Spurs last Saturday. Next stop, Old Trafford. Kulusevski's back. 3-1 Spurs. Sonny 2. Kane 1. In Conte, we trust. Absolutely love that. Sonny bagging a brace there. I think he's in fine form. So I could see that happening, Phil. Not crazy at all. But really, honestly, best of luck to you on the shift, my man. And sad we're missing you, but hopefully we can get you next time. Big yourself up, Phil. Really appreciate you at least leaving the comment, my man. Big up. Big up, Mark. Good to see you. Ryan Trestane. We're going to be speaking to him later. Big win on Saturday. Big up, Dave and Jack. Love you guys. Let's do this clean sweep. Here we go. Absolutely love it, Ryan. And on we go to the World Cup. Time to pick up these points, my man, and time to keep stay high up in the table. Big up, Wisdom. Good to see you. Big up, John Stokes. Absolute legend, John. Good to see you, John N. as well. The other John Army. Evening all with Kulu back. We will take care of United onwards and upwards. Come on, you Spurs. Big yourself up, John. Got Amir in the house as well. Let's go and smash United. Evening, everyone. How's everyone? After that win, I think we're doing pretty all right, Amir. Good to see you, my man. Really appreciate it. Good to see you, Tyler, as well. Always appreciate you tuning in. Good to see you, Cola. Absolute legend. Steak is in the house. Dave Tyson, good to see you. Evening, people. Come on, you Spurs. The very generous and very lovely bottom dude. Big up to the Irish Hotspur Army. Brad Matthews, who we'll be speaking to first, is in here as well. Big up Anthony Gray. Come on, you Spurs. Onwards and upwards. Absolutely love it, Anthony. Dark Sun G. This time, let's beat Man United, get 3 points, and move on, certainly. And let me know what you thought of that game against Newcastle, Dark Sun G. It kind of felt like it was sort of a good tactical affair between the two, but I felt like Newcastle were actually the better team on paper throughout the game. And honestly, in a few moments, they really just couldn't finish, especially Joe Linton. Certainly should have buried them and probably could have gotten out with all 3 points there, actually, Newcastle, with the way they were playing. Really solid defensively against Man United. Let me know what you think of them this year, Dark Sun G. Are they a bit overrated? Are they a bit rated? Are they underrated? Let me know, my man. But definitely get the 3 points this time. And Ronaldo certainly took them all away from us. Big up our green. Good to see you. Got Dark Sun G as well with another super chat. Hope that Ronaldo doesn't beat us like before. Exactly what I was saying, Dark Sun G. And it really was, honestly, just a few of them were against the run of play. They just kind of got United back into the game. And I remember Højbjerg having a sensational game, and it was kind of all for nothing. It really was kind of just a disappointing result because, like I said, it was hard to really be, I don't know. It's hard to be tough on the players because in the way that we sort of played, it sort of merited, probably at least a point or at least a win, of how I recall it. And it's just Ronaldo just kind of took it to world-class levels and really just took the game out of our hands and just was able to win it for them. And not much you can do about it. But who knows? Maybe I'm kind of remembering the game wrong, and I'm looking forward to seeing what people have to say about that game from last season. Big up, Dark Sun G. Good to see you, Jason Bell. I think we might see Perisic playing up front or on the right if he's going to go 3-4-3. Maybe he would go Sessegnon left wing back. Then in the middle, he goes Højbjerg and Bentancur. Right wing back, it's still again, Emerson has that suspension, everybody. So it could probably be Doherty. Maybe he goes Perisic and Doherty on the same side, perhaps with Perisic to kind of help out Doherty defensively at least. And then maybe up top, he goes Kane and Son. Interesting combo there, Jason. Let me know what you think of that. Big up to you, absolute legend. Dan Coy's working away with work this week. So like the Ajax and Leicester game, I watched at the hotel. Really looking forward to the game. Sort of result and performance from those games, and really looking forward to the same sort of result and performance from those games. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Dan. Really appreciate that, my man. And hopefully you're able to get through this work week, and hopefully that Man United game is going to turn out to be a big result for Spurs that can get you through the rest of it. Big up, Dan. Really appreciate you, my man. Rob Belcher's in the house. Big up, Jack, and best wishes today. Appreciate that, Rob. And I probably anybody else that's asked by now, Dave is just not really feeling his best today. And so I kind of decided to give him sort of that, precautionary treatment, treat the injury quite seriously, almost kind of doing an Antonio Conte kind of mind games here where I'm, just getting Dave ready for the upcoming game Wednesday. I'm pretty sure he'll be back by tomorrow, but if he's not feeling well by tomorrow, I'm pretty sure he'll be back Wednesday. But, it's just all precautionary, trying to get Dave to his best. So for the big game days, because you don't want to exacerbate the injury, you don't want to make it any worse. So we're just, treating this very carefully, you could say, kind of doing some mind games here. Big up, Rob. Ian Ferguson, big up all. Great win. Best start in the Premier League era. Let the good times keep rolling. Big yourself up, Ian Ferguson. And disappointing result for Erta. Great result for Spurs. Absolutely. Big up, my man. Big up, Philip Brady. Thanks for tuning in, my man. And if you're able to tune on the cruise ship, feel free, Philip. But I know you're probably enjoying yourself. Big yourself up, Philip. Thanks for tuning in, brother. Got 164 in the house. Big yourself up, brother. Brad Matthews as well. Val Iceman. Dark Sun G with the super chat here. Casemiro is their threat. Block him and we win, in my opinion. His sort of like kind of transition to the Premier League has been a bit rough, I would say. Not as rough as I would think Koulibaly's, but it's been somewhat rough to a degree. He's had like moments where he's looked kind of a bit, slow or perhaps not adjusted yet to the Premier League, Dark Sun G. And then in the next moment, he'll make a sensational tackle and he'll thread Cristiano through for a goal. I mean, even that game the other week, I believe for them, it was the game before Newcastle, whoever they played, but Casemiro just absolutely threaded whoever he did through after winning a tackle. He just had a weird game, Casemiro. So I'll be interested to see how he comes up against Spurs. And he is that sort of defensive midfielder that will cause us problems because he is exceptional at winning the ball, Dark Sun G. But it was against Everton. Thank you, my man. It was against Everton. But yeah, it felt like he had a weird game in that one, if you ask me, where it just, I don't know, they didn't really look actually that great in a lot of moments. Man United, even Casemiro himself didn't look that great in certain moments, but then he all of a sudden showed his class in others. And it could be a game like that where perhaps maybe Casemiro shows up and has a worldie, or perhaps maybe we bully him. I'm not too sure yet, but Højbjerg in the form that he's in, Bentancur in the form that he's in, certainly we got some good midfielders to come up against him. Dark Sun G, and also Ian Ferguson, congrats on Cincinnati, and big up as a Nords, most confident I've ever been going to Old Trafford in my life. Love to hear that, my man. Absolutely love to hear that. Everybody, before I bring on the first guest of the evening, do smash that like button, get your super chats in if you do want to skip the queue. I am going to continue to bring the comments up. I'm also going to ask, the guests maybe via the comments as well. So if you have any questions for the guests, put them in the comments and I will bring them up and put them up on screen, especially ask them if they are really good. But if you do want to just skip the queue and as well as support the channel, feel free to throw it in as a super chat. But we already have one from the bottom Duda, but I'm going to get straight to Brad Matthews here and we're going to answer it together. So Brad, hope you're ready. Good to see you, Brad.
Hey, Jack, how you doing?
All good.
Pass my regards on to Mr. Harris. Hope he gets better.
Yeah. What do you think of my treatment? I've kind of given him the Richarlison or the Kulusevski, decided, I'm not going to rush him back into play right away. Don't want him to, and then see if he can be better by Wednesday. No risk now, right, Brad? No point in worrying.
Conte would have been proud of you. He said, "Oh, there's 5% risk, 5% risk." No, I don't want to risk him. So yes,
game management.
Right decision.
Good panel management. Panel management. That's what we're doing. We're rotating in. The bottom dude, Brad here. He says, "Don't give Ronaldo so much time with the ball, and Cess and Davy / Longley should mark Anthony as well, and not let him use that left foot." Newcastle were superb yesterday against Anthony. Maybe we'll start with this. Did you see that game?
I didn't. I didn't actually. No, I was probably recovering from my night out, or I didn't get home till 3:30 in the morning for various reasons.
Good man. Good man.
So I didn't. I watched the Liverpool Man City game. That was it. But I didn't watch that. But
what are your thoughts, maybe with Ronaldo from last season? And it was something I was touching on earlier. Like, was it 3 just sensational goals? Is there something we could do better next time? What are your thoughts on how we handle Ronaldo if he plays?
Well, 2 of the goals, I can't. I think his second goal was from memory, it was a sweeping move, and the ball's crossed to him, and he scored. But the goal he scored from long range, you've got to block him. You've got to stop that shot. You've got to close them down. Same thing happened with the rapist against alleged rapist against Tottenham against Arsenal the other week.
Yeah.
But you got to close them down. You can't let someone like Ronaldo have a shot because you know how good he is.
Yeah.
And then the other goal, well, that's just our inability at times to defend corners. You just got to make sure that ball, as that comes over, is yours. Mm-hmm. And I noticed on Saturday we're still playing the zonal marking, which I've never liked. But yeah, you just sort of make sure that you know he's good at heading the ball, and you just got to make sure that when that ball comes over, right, that ball's mine. If you're Dyer or someone like that, you got to say, right, that ball's mine. You go for it and you stop him, or you prevent the run. You got to be careful because of the foul there. But yeah, you got to do that.
He's also one of those guys that could, he might look uninterested, sort of kind of player, right? Ronaldo, he might, be throwing his hands up one moment, pouting, screaming in the crowd, and then the next moment he's in behind, or he's, like you said, in a corner, perhaps in the back post. No one sees him, Brad. So he's that sort of player.
I don't remember him doing much in that game at Old Trafford last year at all, apart from scoring the 3 goals. That's the only time you saw it.
I agree. I even watched,
and we lose 3-2. It's like, what's going on here?
I remember, Brad, I even watched it in Manchester. Sorry to interrupt, but I watched it in Manchester, funny enough, in enemy territory. Right, I was in enemy territory, and I remember just like in the pub watching it, and it was like the whole time I was like so impressed with how Spurs were playing. I was like, really looks like, we're up for this one. Really looks like we're up for this. And the moment Ronaldo like scored that goal, there was so much tension, I remember, from the Man United fans, because they really did feel like, they were getting kind of outplayed. And then Ronaldo just scored that goal, and like the relief, it was not as much of like expecting the goal to come in. It was like the sense of like relief of like, wow, he's just, got us into the game here sort of situation. And I'm worried about that because Ronaldo was kind of one of those bailout sort of performances, if you know what I mean. He kind of bailed them out, really.
And also in that game, I felt that when we got the equaliser, I thought, oh, there's only one team's going to win this. That's us. And yeah, we still did it. That still did it. So Anthony, I haven't seen much of Anthony. I saw him in the game. It might have been against Arsenal, I think, where he looked pretty tricky. But yeah, if he's good on his left foot, I mean, even when I used to play 5-a-side, there used to be one player in the opposition. He only used his left foot. So all you do is you just. It's one of the easiest things to do as a footballer, is to push someone the way you want them to go. Mm-hmm. So yeah, push him onto his right foot, grab him onto his right foot.
Yeah, from what I've seen, he's very one-footed. He seems like almost kind of Robin-esque, where he's very one-footed, like too one-footed by the looks of it as well. Even his finish, he got a bit lucky.
I mean, you could argue that we've got a similar player in Kulusevski. You don't want to get him on his left foot. Mm-hmm. So if he cuts in on his left foot, you're done. Mm-hmm. And the same with this Anthony guy. So you force him out wide. You put 2 people to force him out wide, box him in. It's pretty. Yeah, I mean, Deborah. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name. Let's call you Debo. Is right. It's right. That's what you do. You don't let him use his left foot, and you close. You don't give Ronaldo time on the ball. Yeah, Conte's a world-class manager. I'm sure he'll be sort of stressing this in the dressing room. But we shall see. We shall see.
Anthony is definitely a very one-footed player, from what I can tell at the bottom, dude. And then Ronaldo, I'm interested because he's doesn't look really as in form as he was last season, but he's still Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, no one needs to really tell him how to score goals or how to get back into form. At the same time, though, I think Marcus Rashford has been sort of their player of the season by the
Mm.
looks of things so far. And will they go with Rashford out wide to bottom Duda, like on the left? Because I think he should play no matter what. I think Rashford is their most informed player, so he should play. Is he going to play on the left or is he going to play up top? I'm not exactly sure there, but
Well, he's a very I he seems to score against us, and I remember when Man United played Liverpool. I can't remember if it was this season or last season actually.
yeah.
But when he's on the left, he's very dangerous because like Anthony on the other side, he cuts on his right foot and he's very dangerous.
Let's be
So
honest,
yeah,
Brad, too. We've been dealing with an out of form Rashford for like the past
mm,
2 seasons. Like now he's kind of back to, or at least showing semblances of his old self
yeah,
this season. And I'll be honest, like times before when we came up against Rashford, like it wasn't the Rashford that I think is playing right now.
yeah,
This guy
yeah.
is like back. He's, back to his old self by the looks of things, which is interesting to think about.
But yeah, so it's yeah. I mean, it's it's when Man United lost their first 2 games of the season, I'm thinking, why can't we play them now? I was looking on the fixture list. When did we play them? When did we play them? When did we play them? Oh bloody!
Yeah.
It's October. They'd be back in form by then, and they are. And this is one of those games where if you look at the top 6 or your rivals for that season, you've got to make sure that you take at least equal amount of points off of them as they do you. So,
Yeah.
with Chelsea, we've taken a point, so we need to beat them in the next game. Arsenal, we've got to beat, so we're 11 on point. If you do
Yeah.
that against your rivals, that's going to do good in the long run.
Definitely.
Because it's the old 6-pointer thing. We lose to Man United, they gain 3 points on us.
Let's get
We
some
draw,
revenge.
they don't gain anything. So.
Yeah, let's get some revenge this time. Big up to bottom, dude. I really appreciate the support, my man. Absolute
The bottom.
great
Sorry,
comment.
I'm really sorry how I pronounced your name.
I would say Debo. Debo sounds great. I
Yeah.
think he probably. I bet he would love Debo. Stick with that,
All right,
Brad.
Debo, yeah.
I bet he would love it. Dan Coy's member for 9 months. Flat Cap member. Big up, Dave. Hope you feel better, mate. Like I said, Dan, I've gotten the approval from Brad. Looks like Conte would be proud of me with how I'm sort of handling the situation. Don't want to rush him back into it too quickly. Let him kind of train on the side, training with the under 23s, Dave is, and then he'll get back into things. Pick yourself up, my man. Sebas Wolf, 3-5-2 is the way against United. Brad, what are your thoughts on, how should we set up against United? Because Conte still gave a bit of love to the 3-4-3 in his conference. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I as most Tottenham supporters agree with that 3-5-2. I think he might be forced into make it on Wednesday because Richarlison, who thankfully is not badly injured, I really felt sorry for him when he could have been missing the World Cup. He'll probably go and score the winning goal against England now. You watch, but yeah, I think now that he's out, and I didn't see the press conference today, so I'm not sure whether Kulusevski is fit or not. But you're presuming that if he is fit, he might be on the bench as a ease him in gently. So without Kulusevski and without Richarlison, then you haven't really got much choice but to play the 3-5-2. And I think Son seems to play better. I don't go with this that Son and Perisic, negate each other. I don't believe that's true. But I think Son seems to play a lot better when he's closer to Kane, playing in that 2 up front. There is a school of thought that he might even go with Lucas Moura instead of Richarlison and still get away with a 3-4-3. But I don't know. He's quite. I think the thing about 3-5-2 is Basuma had a really good game when he came on Saturday. He really made that difference, and I think he did fairly well didn't do brilliantly, but he did fairly well against Brighton. So Conte's always said, he's got to learn the system, learn how you play this sort of football. And
feels like you're playing while he's in form, almost sort of situation.
Yeah. And when he gets on there, then it allows Bentancur and Holberg to go forward. And Bentancur and Holberg were immense on Saturday, absolutely brilliant. Yeah. But don't underestimate the role that Basuma played in allowing them to do that.
It's true. He neutralized it, right, Brad? I mean, did you see the XG? What was it, like 0.000?
They didn't have a shot on target. They had the 2 little breakaway chances in the first half while they both placed them over the bar, which was worrying because you think, well, if it's 0-0 going into the last 5 minutes, they get a break like that. We've seen it before. But no, I mean, I thought Saturday was, and I called it an efficient win. An efficient win.
Right.
We played reasonably well. I think the second half we played a lot better. but it was an efficient win. We didn't play. I think the first 20 minutes we looked up for it. We was pressing them. Then they got a bit back more into the game, a bit more possession, and I got a little bit concerned that we seemed to be, sort of letting them have it. But then second half was, there was no other team that's going to win it. You just hope that, people like Pickford weren't going to make brilliant saves and that sort of thing. And as it happened, Kane's penalty was brilliant, but Pickford did get pretty close to it, to be fair, And it might have been the fact that Pickford's quite small for a goalkeeper that he didn't actually get to it, but it was a really good penalty. And it was so funny because the Everton players were trying to distract Kane by time wasting, by going up to Pickford and chatting to him, by going and replacing the ball and that sort of thing. And I thought to myself, you know what, 0-0, if Kane scores this, then all that time wasting is going to be, that's going to be detrimental to them anyway. So, time waste all you want, lads.
Yeah,
but,
I know exactly.
So go on, yeah.
Can I ask you, Brad? Because people are asking, is Kulusevski 100% out for this game? And there's been Conte speaks in riddles about Kulu, but I think he'll be ready as a sub. Says Dunkel Z Torque there. Just to kind of maybe I don't know. I don't want to make you go against the Basuma hype because I was absolutely impressed with Basuma as well. But let's say Kulusevski secretly is fully fit for this one. Do you stick with the 3-4-3 or do you still go 3-5-2?
If I was a manager,
with that in mind.
If I was a manager, if it was my decision, Kulusevski being fully fit but haven't had any game time in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I'd have him on the bench, and I think that's possibly what we might say because he's a really good player to bring on. In the last 20 minutes of the game, I've seen him come on as a sub and change games. Now going forward, I mean, 3-4-3 works better when he's in it, basically, and you've got to go with the team that scored a lot of goals last season. But at the moment, coming back from injury, I'd like to see him on the bench, and then with 20 minutes to go, even if you're leading by a goal, you can still bring him on, make an attack, and tiring Man United. I mean, the one thing about Tottenham, their running at the moment is absolutely brilliant. Gianpiero, I mean, my God, what a figure he's had on that team with their fitness, because they are running to that very last minute pressing. I mean, Bentancur is deceptively quick as well. Certainly when he closes down, I've never seen him with the ball, but when he closes down, he's really fast.
There's some times as well where he almost I've seen dogs be described this way, and this is unfair to him, but if you've ever heard like the zoomies where like a dog just all of a sudden just goes crazy and just is like running 100 miles an hour after everything. I've seen Bentancur do that, Brian, or Brad, where I feel like I've seen where all of a sudden, like when Dave or somebody's like, why isn't nobody pressing? Somebody should press. All of a sudden it's like Bentancur hears him and then he just starts sprinting after everything, around the pitch, and you start to notice how quick he is. You start to realize how in shape he is, because it's like the fact that he can do those sort of sprints so late into the game as well, like considering how hard Højbjerg and him work and how much ground they cover. It's always very impressive. Bentancur.
I think we're well. I mean, the only thing that worries me about Højbjerg and Bentancur is that we can't really expect them to play every game. We've got 2 games a week. They're gonna be shattered by the end of the season,
as much as they want to.
So you do have to look at the fact that the problem is the next 2 games are big games. The home game against Newcastle. Newcastle can be in fairly good form. Man United is good, and then even Sporting Lisbon's a big. There's 3 big games. There's no game where you can say, well, we probably get away with making a couple of changes there. I think the 3-5-2 is the way it will go, hopefully anyway. And if we can get control of that midfield, and then the Man United fans will get restless. Man United are a funny team. They play brilliantly, and then they'll play absolutely awful. Look how they played against Man City. It was just diabolical.
I felt that way against Man City, where like they had a lot of hype behind them, Brad, and then all of a sudden they just got absolutely humbled, and you sort of like, well, I feel like now we're gonna scrap that up and like, and it was that sort of situation where like, well, all that hype goes out the window, because if anything, I said after that, I was like, and it was similar to the Brentford game where, call it as you will, like a good manager wouldn't let that happen. It's twice now where Ten Hag, I believe this season, Brad, has gone down 4-0 at halftime. Like Conte just doesn't let that happen. Like he just doesn't. Like it. And people were saying, "Oh, look at Arsenal. They were just getting battering Spurs, playing all around the park. It was like, well, it was 1-1 at halftime.
Exactly. We were in the game. We were in the game. You know, no matter how you might have thought how we were
I
playing.
would rather be 1-1 playing terribly
Exactly.
than be 4-0 down at halftime trying to play progressive football. Like, geez.
And if there's 1% that maybe feel a little bit better on the Sunday, we're seeing the fact that, well, Man United in their big game of 4-0 down at halftime, we were at 1-1. So, you know, maybe it's not so bad. You know,
if anything, they might be the record holders for that. That might be an interesting stat to take a look at. Like, how many teams by this stage of the season, how many teams have been 4-0 down by halftime? By twice, like at the stage. Sorry, once is already bad enough, Brad. Once is already bad enough. You're starting to think it's Ralph Hasenhüttl, you know, on the sidelines, getting ready for the 9-0. I don't know. It's bad news. It's bad news. But at the same time, then, like the next week, like you said, they'll get a good result. And then all of a sudden they're getting praised every second. Then they'll talk about the project and everything. They're a confusing team, but they also have every media pundit either against them or behind them. So it's also.
I think it'll take a couple of windows. Not that I care anyway, but a couple of windows and Ten Hag being there for a couple of seasons to get consistency. I think that's the fact. We've any new managers, that consistency, that because, you know, you're learning new tactics, you're learning a new way to play. You know, and that's the thing with Conte. This is why Conte says, "Oh, this player's not ready yet." Because you know, there's a lot of information to take in, and if you don't, you know, you might miss one piece of information that could lead to the opposition scoring a goal. So I think that's the big thing with Basuma. And now Basuma's come on. He's obviously, you know, he's fitted into the system now. He knows how to play in that system. So it's I was going back to Saturday. The feel-good moment for me. And I don't know whether this came across on the TV, but the feel-good moment for me was when Jed Spence came on. Because when he started warming up, he got a cheer. And when he came on, the whole crowd cheered him. And I thought, even though I don't think he touched the ball, that will give him so much confidence. You know what I mean? To think, right, they want, you know, all I got to do is buy my time, train hard, and then I'll get my chance. And I felt really, really good about that when he came on.
I felt bad, Brad, that he could have had like 6 more minutes had Everton not turned into prime Barcelona and kept the ball all of a sudden. Like, poor kid, like all of a sudden, like nobody could lose the ball all of a sudden. The ball couldn't go out of play, no fouls. I felt horrible for him.
I tell you what, though, that's on my side of the ground, and he's incredibly tall. He really is tall. I mean, he fits the Conte recipe for a wing back, you know. Nice. And every time we got the ball on the left, he was at the back post. I go, hit it back post, but they never did. So
brilliant. Brad, can I get a score prediction for Man United, and then also I need you to plug your channel as well.
I was thinking about that before the game. Oh, before I say anything, can I give a shout out to Corey from Florida?
Yes,
I was in the Beavertown bar on Wednesday before the Frankfurt game, and I got chatting to him and his mate and another guy. And he says he I said, oh, you know, do you know any of the YouTube stuff? And he said he watches the Irish Hotspur. So, I'm on that quite a lot on the fan show.
Sorry.
Yeah, so whether he's watching tonight, I don't know. But he said he was a little bit nervous about putting things in the comments and that in case people have a go at him. Well, if you're watching, Corey, put your comments away. No one's going to have a go at you. You know, it's good fun. It's good fun.
Yeah, we're very nice over here. We're very nice over here.
But
good man.
You know what? I was looking forward. Let's look at all our big games this season. I was so looking forward to the Chelsea game. We scraped it out with a draw. I was confident we scraped it out with a draw. I was looking forward to the Man City game. Oh, this could be confident. It got postponed. I was really looking for the Arsenal game. We could really do this. We got beat 3-1. So it's the same with Man United. These are the games we got to start winning. We've got to start winning. A draw's not the worst result in the world, but we've got to start winning these games.
This feels like the winnable. This feels like the winnable.
It is winnable. I mean, you've heard me before earlier in the season where I said I'd take a point at the Emirates, I'd take a point at Stamford Bridge, I'd take a point at the Etihad, I'd take a point at Anfield. They're the only 4 grounds I'll have that. But Man United is a ground that we can go and win there. You know, it's as I said, they're inconsistent. We've just got to get it and play. And, you know, one thing Conte does is he's quite efficient. The team are quite efficient. They keep going and keep going and keep going. Even when they're not playing well, they keep at it. And then you hope that, you know, they'll get to that situation where they suddenly will have those moments of play. And that's all it takes. 2 or 3 good moments of play and they'll do it.
Yeah.
But, right.
I like that. I like that score prediction, Brad, just quickly, just because this does feel like the more winnable one. This feels like.
I hate
did you even give it?
Because I thought if I predict a draw, then I was going, oh, you're not a good source for. If I predict a win and then they lose. if I'm really, really, really incredibly honest, and this is me talking as a following Tottenham for 50 years, and I've seen it all before, my prediction's a draw.
To be honest, it certainly would be one. I think if anything, there's always bad hoodoo at these sort of places. There's always something that goes wrong. And often always too, like sometimes a team like Man United, Brad, they can be completely out of form and then they just show up for one game. Like we know Chelsea even did that under Tuchel. They just showed up for one game and then we're just dreadful afterwards. And we know teams do that against Spurs.
I mean, I don't know who's reffing it, but if it's Anthony Taylor, well, it's his turn to sport us, isn't it? Really, you know,
that would be a conspiracy. If he gets it, all the big games, Brad. That means he got
I can't see it. I thought it was Anthony Taylor against Everton, but it's another referee that's bald as well. So
that would be horrible if he got it. I mean, there'd be real conspiracy behind that.
I would be really disappointed if we lose on Wednesday. I'd be absolutely elated if we win on Wednesday, but I won't be too. I'll be okay if we get a draw. Fair enough. But these are the games that we've got to start to win to convince people that we are actually the real deal. And also, for that matter, to convince not only us, the fans, but convince Conte that we're the real deal. So so yes, it's going to be tight, but hopefully we'll win. But my prediction's a draw.
There we go, everybody, and I'm pretty sure plenty of people might predict a similar thing, Brad. Don't you worry. But tell us about Blue Sofa Songs, and honestly, we're loving the titles. And I listened to the one this morning, Brad. I was actually enjoying a bit of coffee. It popped up on my homepage, just the feed itself.
That's good.
Like
That's
the YouTube algorithm. The YouTube algorithm just sent it through to me. I clicked on it, hit the like button, did everything you wanted to, and it was all natural. It was all organic. Exactly what you wanted.
I have to say, it's really weird. Now I watch YouTube on my TV screen, unless I'm doing the live stream, and I have I watch my guitar live stream from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock on Friday with a couple of beers, but I have as you know, my songs come up at 5 p.m. UK time, so I get this notification come up on my phone. I look, because it's me. It's not Blue Sofa Songs. It's me, Brad Matthews. So I click on the watch later, and then after the live streams, I click on. It's still really, really weird to see the screen come up and there's me on there. really weird. Really weird. And what I mean, I don't know if you know, you probably do, but what's the funny thing is, I think the song that's on there at the moment, the Anti-Greed Coalition, which for any of you not know anything about UK politics, is what at the moment current Prime Minister Liz Truss said in our conference, that she literally named everyone in the whole world as being an anti-growth coalition. So I thought, thank you, Liz, that's my next song. And then I basically, a friend of mine suggested greed, so I changed it to anti-greed. And what happened was, on YouTube, they give you a thumbnail if you haven't got one, and it came out with the thumbnail with the song title on the thumbnail, which is where I put the lyrics on. I've got a feeling that adds to people clicking on it, because they say, "Oh, I wonder what that's about," and they'll click on it.
Right.
It's got over 100 views on it now in less than 3 days. That's the quickest. That's the most views I've had, or the quickest load of views I've had since the first one. So that's good. So anyway, sorry, I'm rambling on
me, Brad. Like I said to you, it worked on me. So clearly, it's doing well. Everybody, check out Brad's channel, and also
it also might be the fact that it's a bit of an instrumental, and I don't sing a lot, so maybe that's what it is.
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe YouTube.
I'm trying different things. I'm coming up with different ideas, trying to keep it fresh and that, and and then I'll go back to doing something relatively normal. But I was experimenting with different sounds and trying to get some sort of, I don't know if you know the old shoegazing music, that sort of wall of sound type thing, which I can't do too, because obviously the neighbours behind me, I can't have it too loud when I'm recording it. But Blue Sofa Songs, please give it a look. Please click the like and subscribe. It's just me. If you haven't seen it before, it's me writing songs about my feelings on various things, or my experiences. I write the music, try and play the guitar.
Great titles as well.
Well, that's really, to be fair, that's really how the songs come up. I normally come up with the title first before.
Yeah.
I have an idea what the song's going to be about, and I really, for any of you that don't know, I literally start writing the song probably on Friday or the Saturday, which normally get a lot of time. So quite literally, I'm starting the one for this Friday today. I sort of come up with some music. I'll finish that off tomorrow, and then when I've got the music ready, I'll come up with the lyrics. I know what the song's going to be about. I'll come up with the lyrics and that sort of thing. So it's good fun. It's stressful, but good fun. And I hope everyone likes what they or what they see and hear. My only goal is to get better. There are songs that don't work. There are songs that do work. There are songs that I think, oh, that was pretty crap, actually. But songs are okay. So
love it.
Noel Gallagher once said that you can't, if you sit down to write a great song, you'll never do it. So that's why I try and do one every week. Just write a song, and who knows, it might come out good, it might not. So we'll see. But thanks for giving me the opportunity to blaver on about it. For everyone's going, oh, he's still going on. Jesus.
Well, I saw so many good Harris Army in there. So many people from I Know This channel supporting you there on that channel, Brad, which was really nice to see. And Welsh Gal too. Bobby K. I saw plenty of people in there. Bottom Duda was in there. It was really nice to see. So all I can say is, Brad, plenty of people were happy to listen to it for the time being. I
really appreciate the nice comments. I mean, if there's a criticism, if it's a fair criticism, I'm happy with that. No problems. Because I watch it and think, oh, didn't do that right, So if you see something you think, oh, maybe that should be done differently, fine. I'm happy to take any fair criticism or any fair sort of comments on board as well.
Good man, Brad. All righty. Well,
all right. Cheers, Jack.
For getting us started, Brad. Thanks for getting us started, brother.
All right, no problems. Goodbye to everyone in chat.
Come on,
you Spurs.
Big up, Brad. Appreciate you, brother. Big flex as well from the Brad as well. Everybody check out the channel. Links down below after the flex. Check out the channel. Great plug as well that he gave himself, everybody. And do check it out. Somebody good Harris Army over there supporting our man, Brad. Aaron Dubb becoming a Flat Cap member. Really appreciate that, Aaron. Absolute legend. Really appreciate all the support, brother. And good to see you in the chat today. We also have David Harris saying United are at their most beatable now than ever. They've been in my entire lifetime. So basically the most beatable they've ever been in his entire lifetime, David says there. Big things to talk about, and certainly something we'll talk about with the next guest here. And it is going to be, just let me check, Mia. Looking forward to this, Mia. Hopefully you're ready if you can hear me.
I'm ready.
There we go, Mia. What are your thoughts on what David is saying here, that United are the most beatable they've basically ever been in his lifetime? Would you agree with that?
I would probably say, I would probably say so, because at the moment they're in a bit of a rebuild stage, I suppose. So obviously that means that they're still kind of learning the ways of their manager. So I'd say that they're probably beatable 100%. I'm feeling like it's a bit of a funny feeling, because I know we lose there and we don't tend to win, but I've got a feeling we are gonna win it. I've got a feeling, because of the way Conte sets up and he plays. I think that even if we play with the 3-4-2, I think he can always change it and bring Kulu on if Kulu is ready, or he can start with like the three at the front and then swap it over if we do feel like in midfield we're being a bit overrun. So he has got that ability to change it, and I think that's good, because that gives us the chance to sort of suss out what they're going to do and change it if we need to, where I don't think that they're as prepared. I just don't think they are. I think they kind of wing it a little bit at the moment.
Do you feel like, what did you think of what I was saying there? Like, they've been down at halftime 4-0 twice. Like, what does that tell you about a team? Like, it tells you inconsistency, but it also tells you, like, in the big games, like, they are capable of like completely capitulating. 4-0 down twice, like so far this season. I mean, it's crazy.
It is crazy, and I do think that that's something to do with the fact that they're obviously just coming together as, like, I think with Man United for a little while it's been more like they've got 11 players and not really a team, and I feel like that's still the case now. I feel like they're not really quite a team yet. So, and I think that's down to management and keep getting new players in, and obviously they've got to try and gel with the other players. So I just don't think they're very much like a team. They're more just like 11 individuals. And I think last season that's what won it for them when we lost to them 3-2, is that an individual like Ronaldo, who we all know about Ronaldo and what he's capable of, he won it for them. He won that game, basically.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Like, how well do you remember that game, Mia? Like, because I was kind of saying, like, he bailed them out. Am I remembering that correctly?
No, not at all. I feel like we played really well, and I think he did bail them out. And I actually had an argument with a Man United supporter about it, because I said they were slagging off Ronaldo, and I said, all but for Ronaldo, there's few games like that season that you wouldn't have won, and that was one of them was against us. If you didn't have Ronaldo that season in that game, you wouldn't have beat us, because you weren't playing good. You weren't playing good that season, that game. We played really well that game, I remember. I felt like we was all over them. I felt like we were all over them, and I do think Ronaldo brought them back into that game.
So if that means then they were bailed out last time, means then by that logic, we probably should have got 3 points there. This time around, under Eric Ten Hag, new manager and everything, do you think they're that same sort of soft underbelly? Like, can we get at them, or is there something about them this season that's a bit different?
No, I don't think it has been, because you've seen other games that they've been playing, like you said, 4-0 down twice already at half time. And although Newcastle are a good team now, they're not Man United standard. Let's be honest. The players
home as well, Newcastle in that game.
Yeah,
that was at Old Trafford as well.
it was. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like, you think about it, Man United's players are like far above what, when you think about Newcastle's team, they should be by rights beating the Newcastle team at home, and they didn't. So I think definitely, and Newcastle weren't as, obviously they're not got up front what we've got up front. So with a team like us, with Kane and Sonny, if we get Kulu back, or have Kulu back at some point, we're lethal. We're absolutely lethal, and we can punish them easy. But it's going to be interesting to see how he sets up, because at the moment I don't feel like Ten Hag has really got a system. It's not really, you can't really see quite what he's doing yet. So that's going to be interesting to see what he does.
Let's talk about how we'll set up then, Mia, because there's a bit of mind games going on right here. Like, I'm kind of playing with Dave Harris, trying to get him back healthy and fit. You know, I'm not telling everybody when he's back, but I'm pretty sure he's good to go. But I'm just sort of resting him easy, doing a bit of mind games at the moment. Do you think if Kulusevski is secretly fit and ready to go, do you go 3-5-2 or do you go 3-4-3? Come Wednesday, basically, are you going Basuma or Kulusevski?
Probably go 3-5-2, because I don't think it's fair to throw Kulu in from the beginning.
Sure.
I really think that it's better to, if he's getting back to fitness, to maybe throw him on at the end. And when there's tired legs and he runs at people as well, and he's strong and quick, he always wants to look for the forward pass. He's brilliant on the ball, as we know. So I think that could be something that we could just do and chuck him on. And that would be, I think, cause Man United problems.
Yeah, I think we could cause Man United problems with honestly either formation, and with how Brad was saying, Basuma's kind of in form right now. Like, do you kind of continue to push that and let him get some confidence right now, or do you just throw in the baller Kulusevski right away, because we know he's a guy that basically nobody has an answer for right now in the Premier League, I could say, and it's a good headache, I could say, for Antonio Conte, that's for sure. But I do kind of see where you're coming from, where maybe you do kind of not rush him into things too quickly and just let him be more of an impact sub, which probably might be down his alleyway for that sort of situation anyways. But do you think with Basuma, that sort of performance that he put in against Everton, I mean, he basically neutralized them, Maria. So do you think he kind of deserves maybe to actually start in the next game?
Yeah, I do think he deserves a start. I was actually watching it myself live. I went with my brother to go and watch it. So I'm watching them live. I was saying this to Dave at the weekend. It's so different to actually watching it on the TV. So it's always really good to see the players, what they're like off the ball as well, because you don't get to see that as much when you're obviously watching at home. But he did play really, really well, and I think it has been a slow progress to kind of get him on and stuff. But I do think that he deserves it, definitely, because he did play very well. Though this is a big pressure game, so it'll be very interesting to see what Conte does, as this is quite a big pressure game, because this could be a chance for us to prove, obviously, us away at a team where we normally would lose. If we can get a win, that would be huge. Like, it would be massive.
We spoke about this earlier. Does this feel like, Chelsea? I think West Ham, we should have won that game, and we found a way to lose or to drop points. But apart from West Ham, Chelsea, Arsenal, these sort of big games that we've come up against this season, this feels like one that is sort of where you should maybe expect Spurs to get 3 points, but like you have maybe more an inclination to back them to get 3 points, if you get what I'm saying, Maria. Whereas maybe North London derby away from home, we were all kind of thinking a point was in the cards. Same with Chelsea, points on the cards. Here, that's what we're sort of going for. But the way Man United are, especially with what David's saying right here, 4-0 down twice this season on both occasions when their midfield were pressed high up the pitch. Should we do it or play a counterattacking style? I mean, it just feels like there are sort of ways to win against Man United. They're not like I would say, a indefensible side, or they're not a Man City right now. You can get after them, I think.
I think that we were pressing really well when we was playing against Everton, but they sat back. So I suppose, again, it's going to be difficult. Like I say, it depends on how Man United come at it, really. That's going to, because they're at home. So that's going to be obviously to see what they're going to do to maybe then see how we're going to play. But it'd be dangerous for us to press and then they get past the press, because they've got that ability to, where Everton, they just didn't want to. They just didn't want to try and score. They literally were just like, had those 2 chances and were like, oh, well, we didn't score, we're not going to try again. So like, it's a very, very different game. But I think if we play the 5-2, I feel like it's better, because then we have got that coverage in the midfield. So even if we press, we've got maybe a little bit more cover. That's one thing that possibly. But with the 2 in the midfield, I feel like that's a dangerous game to play. Even with Bentancur and Højbjerg, how good they are, it's a bit dangerous for us to start pressing them if they're going to be playing on the counter, because they might think to play on the counter themselves.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you mean. And it feels like that's been kind of the way they've won games actually this season. It feels like Man United, if anything, the games they've been praised for, it feels like, Maria, have been the games where they've set up a bit more defensively and a bit more counterattack. And the games when they've tried to play a bit more progressive, tried to play that Ten Hag style, that's when they've gone 4-0 down at halftime, like sort of situation. So could this end up being like a cagey kind of performance? Like it maybe not actually a big scoring game. Like it end up being kind of like that Newcastle game where it ends up being a 0-0 or a 1-1 or something like that.
Well, the thing is with Man U, even they're going to be at home, so I think their fans are going to get onto them. If they play another game like that, they're going to be booing them, they're going to be jeering them, and I think that a lot of the time that pressure sometimes can be a bit edgy. So actually that's good for us, because if they get edgy, then we might pick up on that tension and take advantage of that, because the players feel that on the pitch as well. They can hear the jeers, they can hear the boos, and they might rush and try and do little things and then end up losing the ball. So we've got to hope that in a way that they do play a little bit cagey, because then that will frustrate the fans, because that will frustrate their fans more. Well, we can deal with it. We can sort of deal with it because we know we've got the striking power and we've got the ability to score. So I think that Conte wouldn't be bothered by that. If we went in at half time 0-0, I think we wouldn't be bothered, but the Man United supporters will be. I think the Man United will be. They will be the ones, obviously, that will be more bothered by it.
I know what you mean, how like it could get really edgy there, and perhaps Spurs could sort of feed off that sort of energy. And let's be honest, especially a team like Spurs going into their house, and if it's not going well for Man United, like it will get ugly quick. I think in that crowd of Man United, you're absolutely right. Do you feel like Lisandro Martinez? Like, what are your thoughts on him? Is he good? Like, is he overhyped? Is he someone Spurs can take advantage of?
I'm still not sure about him yet. Like, it's a bit of I can't really suss him out, because sometimes he looks good, sometimes he doesn't look good. So I can't
Basically,
really
what I'm
figure it.
asking is, like, should Conte maybe consider doing like what other managers have done, like where you kind of think about maybe doing something against that guy to try to take advantage of him, or do you kind of just not think about maybe taking advantage of him, maybe leave him alone, sort of situation?
Yeah, I suppose that we could. I suppose, like, obviously,
Because I think I've seen Che Adams. There was that one game where Ralph Hasenhüttl, right, just stuck him right on him like all game. You just sometimes anytime they'll just go long, and it works in certain games, but then other games I've seen where it hasn't really worked. So that's where I'm a bit confused about it. It's like,
Yeah, no, I don't.
do
I
you
think
target him or do you not?
I think probably what we normally do, from what I can tell, is that Conte likes to suss the game out. So I think that he gives the players a little bit of time and then sort of susses out what's going on with what they're going to be doing. So then he might say to a player, right, get onto him, if he feels like it's worth doing, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what you're saying there. I know what you're saying there. And what sort of personnel should we play in this upcoming game, Mia? Do you feel like Perisic is somebody that would you play at the wing backs? You know, Doherty is still like an interesting one because I think with Doherty, like it's going to be him or Spence. Do you play Perisic at right wing? He spoke about maybe playing Perisic at right wing the next game because I think there are some selection headaches to a degree for Conte. So how would you maybe set us up?
I think Perisic and Doherty are probably going to play. I reckon that's how he's going to do it, because I think to throw Spence into such a huge game would be silly.
Yeah,
I think it would be no good for him. I think I was saying this the other day, we need to think about, he's young. If we throw him into a game and he doesn't do well, then he's going to lose confidence. And we don't want him to lose confidence. We want him to be playing games where we're doing all right and he can come on for a little bit and get a bit of like a cheer. Because when he came on Saturday, he got a massive cheer from the crowd. Like, we all really clapped and cheered him. And that's good for him and good for his confidence. So we want that more than just to chuck him on in a game like Man United, where it's a big, big game. I think that would be very silly to do that.
I know what you're saying. Maria. So can I get maybe a score prediction for this one? And then also, I know we've been talking a lot about this game, so maybe before that score prediction, just so forgive my manager, is there something you wanted to maybe talk about that wasn't maybe Man United related, or something that maybe you want to touch on from the last game or something like that? Because I know we kind of focused a lot on Man United, so I do apologize.
No, it's okay. I spoke about the Everton game anyway, because when I came home, I sat down and I came on the show anyway after.
Oh, nice! You got to speak with Dave. Nice.
Yeah, and I had a really sore throat. My throat was really hurting me from singing the whole time. So it was really, really nice. So nice to go. Like I said, I don't get to go as often anymore as I'd like, because I live further away now. When I lived in London, it was a lot easier, but now it was like a 2.5 hour drive to get there. So it was it's a lot harder to get there now. But I spoke about that game. They camped in and put all the men behind the ball, really. And
you said you had a really good vantage point, right? You had a good angle in that game.
Yeah, we actually sat in the middle of the south stand, so we could see really well. We could see the pitch, you could see the whole game. Like, as they've been that close up, you can see the whole game because you're up that bit higher. So it's really, really good. So you can then like see what other players are doing off the ball as well. So that's a really nice advantage to sitting in that part of the stadium.
Romero looked good from the south stand.
Oh yes, he definitely did. I said that. That's funny enough. I did actually say that to Dave. I was like, he looks even nicer in real life. I was like, oh, when they were doing their warm-ups, I was spotting them all, seeing who was like around. You could see Richie. Richie was really easy, obviously, because of his hair. And I was like, yeah, there's Richie over there, and spotting them all. But yeah, it was nice. It was good to see Romero in real life. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, love that, Mia. Absolutely love that. And I might have not have heard you, but I need that score prediction as well before I let you go.
Oh, do you know what? This is so tricky for me. It's like heart over mind sort of thing. Like, my heart obviously is telling me.
Through the same thing. He said draw, right? Was what he.
So my head is telling me probably a draw, but my heart is telling me that we're going to win it 3-1.
3-1. That would be glorious, I must say. That would be glorious. I feel like, I'll be honest, I'm going to give you mine. I would say if we are going to win this one, it could be a 2-1 sort of situation where maybe we even go down first, Spurs equalize, 1-1 halftime. Maybe we grab another sort of kind of, game. I could see it being one where Man United maybe show up for parts of the game just because it's Spurs, just because they love to do that kind of team, especially against us. But 3-1, I think we'd be over the rooftops. I'd probably be ordering an Antonio Conte style pizza if we got that sort of result.
If we're going to get a draw, I don't think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. To me, it would be like a 2-2 if we're going to get a draw. Yeah, I think so, because these games we do seem to have quite a lot of goals when it's been recent Man United games. So to me, it'll be either 2-2 or we're going to win 3-1. So my heart's telling me 3-1. So let's go with that, eh? Why not?
Let's go with that.
Let's have the hope. Keeping the faith, obviously.
Keeping the faith, absolutely. Well, Maria, we've gone 3-1 and then 2-2 if it's a draw. I like those score predictions, honestly, because you've given us both in either scenario. But really appreciate you coming on, just like Brad. Thanks for kind of getting us started on this fan show, Mia, and we'll be seeing you soon.
Yeah, I'll speak to you soon. Take care.
Alrighty, come on, you Spurs.
Bye.
They got Mia. Everybody show her some love, please. Great calling from Mia. And honestly, she was at the game as well, Everton, so she knows what she's talking about when it comes to that view on Romero, when it comes to that view from the South Stand. Big up Jerome with the super chat. And Jerome, I'm sorry we missed you, my man. It's a pretty decent queue at the moment, or at least people got in nice and early, which is just always lovely to see, because it is nice to kind of be able to chat with people in the back end. So if you have been wanting to come on to these fan shows, just know that also a lot of these kind of regulars are kind of in the back end. You're welcome to have a nice, good old chat with them and whatnot. And Jerome, I'm sorry we missed you, but hopefully we can get you on the next one, especially post match if you want to. Man United, Dave has been doing the post match fan shows now, so welcome to come on to that one as well, Jerome. But really appreciate support, man. He says, love the confidence from everyone. Let's go there without any fear and make sure we get our 3 points and keep the pressure on the Woolwich Nomads. Come on, you Spurs. In Conte, we trust. I know Amir Sarda would absolutely love that nickname, the Woolwich Nomads. I know he absolutely would. But when it comes to this game, Jerome, I kind of agree with Dave. I agree with a lot of people that this is one of the most winnable sort of situations ever when we've gone to Old Trafford. Normally, it's a game that you really just kind of hope for the best. You're not really, really coming up with much logic or evidence behind why Spurs should get a result. But this time it feels like you can. And I think there are a lot of good questions between, are Man United actually good? Are their kind of results a bit spotty? Is there a way to get after them? Can you target certain players like Lisandro Martinez? Just feels like it's kind of a much more interesting kind of a game, this one. And it feels like it's one of the big games before the World Cup that Spurs should actually be able to find at least a point. I think they should be able to find a point in this one, Spurs. 3 points, certainly I'd be over the moon, but they should be able to find a point in this one, I think, at least, Jerome. And I think that's where our confidence is coming from, is at least if we think we deserve a point, then who knows, might rationalize yourself to all 3 points. Big yourself up, Jerome. Absolute legend. And like I said, hopefully you can catch us post-match fan show after Man United, and then also Friday if you want to pop on Friday as well. I know Rufus, we'll be seeing him Friday. He couldn't make it tonight as well. Big yourself up, Jerome. Another comment as well from Bottom Duda. Man United are an excellent team. They have top players. If they show up, it'll be very difficult to beat them. Hoping for a Conte masterclass and fighting spirit from our team. And I think that's an excellent way to bring in our tactician, you could say, out in Poland. It is Michael. Looking forward to what he has to say going into this game. And Michael, if you heard my conversation earlier with Mia, I mean, we just spent the whole time talking about Man United, and I do feel a bit bad about that, but it sort of feels like that was the right thing to do, because this is a big game coming up Wednesday. We did the job against Everton, and it sort of feels like the real test is coming up this Wednesday.
Yeah. But before we get to the United game, Jack, I've cracked open a cold one. I need to vent about something, right?
Please vent.
This absolute bum Klopp, like
did Klopp do something again?
Yeah,
did he do something?
No. He didn't. I mean, he did something, but he didn't say anything. You can probably remember.
He did something, but he didn't say anything. Normally, he says something that pisses us off.
Wait, let me say what I. Yeah. So if you remember when we drew 1-1 against them, right, last season, he went out to the press conference and said, I cannot play that type of football. It's too defensive for me. I need to play aggressive football, right? You fucking bum. You had 36% possession against City at your own ground, and you were playing counter-attacking football. Like, as I said that back then, and I will say it again, I respect him as a manager. I respect what he's doing, but as a person, he's an absolute hypocrite and he's an absolute bum.
Yeah,
I had to get that off my chest, because
that was
well played, Liverpool. I didn't expect them to beat City. I was kind of expecting that they will get slapped. City wasn't good, but seriously, if you look at the stats, they had 36% possession. When we played against them, we had 35. Pretty much, like, it's pretty much exactly mirrored, right? And to be honest, we should have won against them back then. it only took that lucky deflection from Diaz for us to concede, right? So I feel like he's a hypocrite in my opinion, right? And there is plenty of many more examples about like Liverpool playing defensive football. So yeah, it was such an unnecessary comment that it honestly riled me up, and I still remember that, and I will point it out whenever he does this, because those comments
I'm glad
were,
you did. I'm glad you did. This is hilarious. I actually never even thought
that
about
crayon
that because
sniffer.
he's kind of complained about so many people, let's be honest, Michael, that it just feels like I've forgotten like who he's like, Karen Klopp at this stage. So, I forgot that he even said that. You're absolutely right. Just quickly before I get John Stokes celebrating 9 months, says, "Hi, Maria, big yourself up, John, and appreciate support and appreciate the support for Maria as well, John, an absolute legend, 9 months with us." But back to Klopp here. I mean, I just feel like I forgot that he even said that about us, Michael, to be fair. And you're absolutely right. And he probably was gloating in the win. I didn't even see his press conference, but I would imagine he was gloating in the win. In the win, the teeth were shining white and everything. It was just, you're absolutely right. Hypocrisy at its finest.
Maybe he got red carded of the press conference too, because he got the red card during that game. So
oh, brilliant! That's right. That's right. He got the red card. You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
it was a good game though.
As I said, well played Liverpool. I did not expect them to put on such a good performance. And to be honest, if Darwin Núñez wasn't a complete and utter dog shit footballer, they would have won that game 3-0 easily.
Worthless.
City were really bad that game. It was to be honest, it was this year. It was maybe their third bad performance, in my opinion.
I feel like they've gotten away with ones before, Michael. What would you say? Aston Villa and stuff.
What I mean is that when they drew with Newcastle 3-3, for example, right? They were patchy. They didn't play really well, but they scored 3 goals. It was an entertaining game. It was clicking for them. They were just bad defensively. This game, they absolutely had no arguments, in my opinion. Liverpool really outclassed them tactically, in my opinion, this game, because Haaland was nowhere to be seen. Foden was nowhere to be seen. KDB had a bad game, in my opinion. Cancelo got absolutely ripped by Salah twice or thrice that game. So I feel like Liverpool were really good that game. And on one hand, I'm happy that City lost, because that makes the league more interesting. But on the other hand, the Scum have 4 points lead now over us and City. So the perfect weekend would be if Scum lost to Leeds, which they probably should have. But they didn't. Unfortunately, they were extremely lucky during that game. If Bamford had his shooting boots on, then that game would have been at least a draw. Unfortunately, they won. But what can you do, right? We care about our own performances, and I'm telling you, we might surprise some people this season. I have a good feeling about it.
Yeah. And Mia W, just backing you up, and Michael, I must say, you just blew out the chat. Everybody's absolutely loving what you just had to say. Everybody completely agrees. Even David, in his own sickness, is probably just coughing up a storm and laughter. Hearing what you just said. And Mia W saying they played defensive football even in the Champions League final against us.
Exactly.
And Marlon Green said they had 38% possession in the Champions League final.
That's what happened that game. They got that penalty. They shut up shop and they scored in 80 something minute, right, against us for the 2-0 win in the Champions League final. Yeah, what riled me up about that comment was it was so unnecessary. I understand why he was pissed, because he knew that he pretty much lost the title at that moment, because it was all in City's hands, and City almost threw it away, but they didn't, because they are City after all, right? But he knew that he probably lost the title because he didn't win against us. And I know that our football can frustrate, but it was such an unnecessary comment, in my opinion. And I am bitter about those type of comments, because I don't feel like there is a right or wrong way to play football. You have to play to your strengths. And our strength is being
funny
solid
enough,
and
though,
compact,
he played to win that
right?
game, which is funny. So all of a sudden, he becomes the biggest hypocrite in the world, where, like you said, oh, well, I wouldn't play that way to win a game. And then all of a sudden he finds himself 11th in the table, needing a win against Man City in order to keep the pride, in order to keep the confidence. he turns out to play just like we do in order to win the game. And it just shows like, well, that's, where you turn into a huge hypocrite. You're absolutely right, Michael, because he should have just swallowed his pride. He really should have just swallowed his pride.
Yeah, I also don't like this narrative like in the media about like us playing negative football and suddenly like all the commentary after this game against City was that how brilliant Liverpool were, that they switched up the tactic and whatever, right? Now I understand that we play this every week and they played it once this season, right? So maybe the like the viewing enjoyment of watching Liverpool is higher because in all the other matches they are like easy on the eye to watch, right? But like we employ the same tactic and we are called like the terrorist football or whatever. It's so negative, we are only winning 1-0 and
I actually have a tiny theory behind this, Michael, and I think part of it had to do just simply, and it was a bit lazy punditry, because I actually think the negative football tag is really more just explained by the fact that Sonny just simply wasn't playing at his full peak and had his full potential and his full form. Because once you get Sonny back and you get Kane back at the same time, Spurs all of a sudden don't look nearly as boring, because once you get the ball into them, they can make things happen out of nothing and be able to create incredible goals and opportunities. And that's where I think it's actually quite honestly lazy to call Spurs boring, because it really, what you look at it is like, well, Harry Kane is really the only player that's somewhat playing 7 out of 10s, 8 out of 10s right now. Sonny's getting back into form right now. Kulusevski's been out this whole time. You then sort of look at it that way. It's like Spurs just haven't been clicking yet. That's all it is. Just it's not like that Spurs are boring. It's just Spurs haven't been clicking yet. Like there's two different things.
Yeah, I've said it plenty of times. I don't think you need 65% possession to play exciting football. In my opinion, I even get more excitement out of like well organized counterattacks because they are rapid. They are like they are surprising because I know many people don't enjoy this feeling, but when you are defensive, you try to nick the ball of the players, right? And suddenly you get that breakaway. It's so exciting for me, like the emotion build up, and we have one of the best counter-attacking teams in the world. I would even dare to say that. So and we were really exciting in my opinion in the back end of last season. Like all the wins against like 4-0 against Villa, I think we had like 40% possession. Like 5-0 against Everton, we had around 50, right? 5-win against Newcastle, they also had a lot of the ball in that game, right? It wasn't like we were this dominant team like City, 70% possession. We didn't let them create any chances, right? It's people sometimes look at stats and they see, for example, like 20 shots free on target, right? And they don't really focus on the fact that 20 shots and only 3 on target means only 3 of those were dangerous, right? Because only 3 of those were on target. And you can also smash the ball from 30 meters and straight into the keeper's hands, and it's a strike on target, right? So you have to also look at the quality of the chances. That's where I think like advanced stats like XG can help explain how the game went. But I also don't like really focusing on the XG and saying that if we had 2 XG and the other team had 1, but they scored 3 goals, they were lucky. That's not necessarily true, but I think it helps describe how the game went.
I know what you mean. You mean.
As I said, I don't mind us having like 40% possession and 8 shots, and like 5 of those are on target, and we score 4 goals. So why do I care that we only had 8 shots if like half of them went into the goal, right?
Sometimes even when we look at it, we can even be a bit confused, or even our judgment of the game can be sort of blinded by, I think, the stats, like the overall stats of the game. Because if you actually watch the game fully, if you watch all 90 minutes, you usually know which team had the better chances and usually know which team created the more chances. And then that's usually how most people probably judge who probably should have won the game. Like in the ultimate point. It's like actually when you look at probably Leeds versus Arsenal, I didn't look at the stats overall, but if Arsenal had more possession against Leeds, didn't matter a single thing, because anybody that watched that game know that Leeds should have won at least 6-0 watching that game the way that they were playing. So that's a great way to look at it.
In front of me, right? Arsenal have 53% possession, 9 shots, 4 on target. Leeds had 16 shots, 4 on target, 47% possession, right?
Yeah.
If
So
you
the
look,
possession,
and
they were
Arsenal
all
won,
over them.
unfortunately, right? But like
They
if
could
you
have scored 6
actually
goals
watch
that
the
game. I
game,
watched
yeah,
the whole
they
game,
should have
Michael.
been like 3-1 up by the end of the game, right? Unfortunately, they weren't. Like, what can you do about it? We don't control the players. It's not FIFA, right? So
Yeah, you can't. But they just need to go to finishing school. Looks like Ted Lasso's team, by the looks of things. But Michael, we've been talking about variety of things, Klopp tactically and everything, but we do need to talk about this Man United game.
yeah.
The one question that has been on my mind, which is a great way to sort of ask, how should we set up for this game is, do you go Kulusevski or Basuma, which is one way of saying, do you go 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, especially if Kulusevski, let's say, is maybe fully fit for this one? Would you go Basuma,
If
considering the form he's in, or Kulusevski?
Judging by context comments, I feel like he prefers us in the 3-4-3. Even it also ties back to what we were talking about earlier, right? I think that a 3-5-2 is a really good formation for us to use in specific situations, in my opinion. But overall I think that we are more dangerous, like obviously because we have one more attacker, we are more dangerous in the 3-4-3. And if Kulu is 100% fit, but I want him to be like sure that Kulu doesn't injure himself again, right? If there is even a slight doubt that Kulu might injure himself, or no, he isn't at his full, I would much rather see us play a 3-5-2 with all the players that are fit instead of like risking him, because I think that he's so important for us. He's so much better than Richarlison on the right wing, and it's not a dig at Richarlison.
Worlds difference.
It's just
Worlds
not his
difference.
position. It's just not his position, Richarlison. The best games, in my opinion, when we saw Richarlison, when we switched to a 4-4 or 4-4-2, whatever you want to call it, right? When he was playing up top with Kane, or when he was playing on the left side, or more as a in the box striker player, right? And that's how he played at Everton. That's how he plays for Brazil too, right? And I think that's the way better version of Richarlison that we can use. But unfortunately, due to Kulusevski's injury, we couldn't do that, right? Because like if Kulusevski is fit, then Richarlison can be that off the bench impact player, or even like he can start and make Sonny an impact player. I would love us to actually try, like, for one of the easier games to rest Kane. I know it will never happen probably, but I would love us to see like a front three of Son, Richarlison, and Kulusevski, for example, just to give Kane that one game of break, because he's playing 90 minutes every single day, right? Every single match, I meant, right? So
thoughts on the 5D chess that Conte was playing, that Tabata Duda was saying here, because he even said like, "Oh, I could play Brian Hill," because he said, "I really like the 3-4-3." I think he said, "I really enjoyed the 3-4-3," and then he said like,
he's
"I could
not
play
going to
Brian
start.
Hill. I could play, Perisic. I could throw the tea lady in at center back." It felt like he was all of a sudden super positive about all the rotations he could make. Was he playing 5D
He's not
chess? Do
going
you
to
agree?
start. He's not going to start Hill or Lucas. I won't entertain the fact of that happening, right? He just won't. I am certain of it. But okay, you asked me about formations. I think that we'll field a 3-4-3 if Kulu is fit. If not, then it will be 3-5-2. And actually,
But
the
it
way
will be 3-4-3 preferred, just to buy
yeah,
you.
I would prefer a 3-4-3 because when you look at the United squad that played Newcastle, for example, right? I feel like Son could get a lot of joy attacking Varane, because Varane is an amazing defender, but he is more of a he's more of a static defender, in my opinion. By static, I mean he's really good at clearing out the corner kicks, or the
I know what you're trying to say.
the ball like up top, and he's really good at like stopping a striker who is running not necessarily at him, right? Stopping a striker who is running at him. But I think that what Son can do is exploit his lack of pace because I don't think that Varane is the fastest player.
I don't think he
The
turns
problem,
very well, I would
yeah,
imagine.
if you knock the ball past him and start running, he won't catch you. If you are Son, of course, right? He would probably catch me, but I am not a footballer, right?
You never know, Michael. You never know. There's some pacey Polish men. You never know. Sonny, like you're saying, could take advantage of Varane, and especially I would say in the most recent games, Sonny. I mean, his touch has been back to what we know it
Yeah,
is. Like he's been
been a
skinning
lot
men for
better.
fun recently. It's been having
Yeah,
a
he's
blast
been a
out
lot
there.
better. Even though he didn't score against Everton, I think that because at the beginning of the season when we were saying that he wasn't playing good, it was because his first touch was a bit iffy. He tried to overplay things, and right now I feel like those goals that he scored in UCL and 3 against Leicester, it gave him that confidence of his back. And we all were saying like all it takes is for Son to score, and he will gain confidence back. And you can already see that in his game that he isn't thinking as much. He's doing much more like instinctively, and that's what he lacked at the beginning of the season. That's why I think that he could get a lot of joy out of Varane, because like if he gets the ball to his feet and he starts like thinking, like struggling, not being sure what he has to do, Varane will absolutely like pocket him, right? But I think that if he's confident in himself and he just knocks the ball past him and tries to exploit his lack of pace, I think that he will get a lot of joy from that. And I also think that if Kulu played, like if Shaw starts, I think that they will be ripped apart on that side. Like I can't see Shaw doing anything against Kulusevski. Kulusevski is so good.
That's where it's like even like seeing Luke Shaw all of a sudden like sort of playing well sort of again. Like I don't know, it just makes me not buy into this team right
I
now,
think
Michael.
he's not playing well in my opinion.
And just
It's
quickly, Michael, just quickly, because I do got to get to the other guest, but I've been loving this conversation. I've been loving this conversation. But just quickly, what have you made of the fact that Erik ten Hag has gone down 4-0 at halftime twice this season? So that's what me and I were kind of having a good conversation about. It's like we all know that United could show up. We all know United can just turn it around against Tottenham, especially a team like Tottenham. They'll put out their best.
Right?
They'll put out their best selves. All of a sudden they're playing worldies and everything. But
like they did
this
last
feels
season,
like though, just to point out though, like if they've gone down twice this season 4-0 at halftime, it shows they have a soft underbelly. It shows that you can get after them.
Yeah, all the matches of United that I watched this season, and I watched like most of them, I feel like they score when you I know it will sound stupid, but they score when you allow them to score. And let me explain that quickly.
I think I know what you're trying to say. You make mistakes,
if you let them exploit your mistakes or exploit the weaknesses of your formation, then I think that they are really good at like doing that, exploiting your weaknesses. But I feel like they kind of struggle against like low block teams that you really need to break them down. And it's kind of ironic because they have really good technical players that probably should be able to break a team down, but unfortunately they aren't, right? Unfortunately for us, of course, but unfortunately for them. And I feel like if we just play to our strengths and we are really like well organized, rigid at the back, we are compact, I feel like they will struggle immensely at breaking us down. And actually, the fact that this game is at Old Trafford might help us a bit, because like they have to be on the front foot at their own ground,
right.
especially if we allow them to be on the front foot, right? Because that's what we do, and that's where we are the most dangerous. The one thing I am scared about is like one of their players having a wordy again for some like unknown
and
reason,
bailing them out like last time.
Yeah, bailing them out like Ronaldo did last time, because they were god awful that in that part of the season, but somehow they managed to win against us, right? And I'm scared that something like this is going to happen, or another like brain dead moment by one of our players, to get sent off or whatever. That's what I'm most scared about. But I'm not scared about this game from like tactics point of view or quality of players point of view, right? I think that we are a better, more organized team right now because we had a lot more time with our coach, of course, right? I think that Ten Hag is doing well at United. but he just needs a bit more time to really stamp his way of playing onto that team. But for now, I think there is a lot of weaknesses that we can exploit, and that we have players capable of exploiting those mistakes, right? By the way, I am really happy to see Doherty back in the starting lineup. I know that David is a bit on the fence with him still, right? And I know that he's not.
But he had a sensational second half. He had a much better second half.
I know he's no class player. He's just average, right? But he's still way better than Royal. And
I think you could
actually see him performing his role properly. And I feel like there will come a time when he and Perisic establish that wing-back connection that you always say that the Conte system needs, the connection between one wing-back making a cross and another one arriving on the far post. I think that he's good at doing that. So yeah, I can't say that I'm confident about this game because it's Old Trafford after all, right? And I know that people might say that we won 6-1 against them two or three seasons ago, right? But it was not in front of the crowd. It was let's be honest, they had a man sent off at 27th minute, even though we were winning already at that point. We were 2-1 up, but still, it's like they had Maguire in the starting lineup. It won't happen again, unfortunately. I don't think ever. He's never coming back, right? So yeah, I think that we can win this game, but I can't say with confidence that we are going to slap them 3-0 or whatever, right?
Oh, love that. I love that. So, I mean, what's it going to be? You're saying with confidence we could win, but we're not going to slap them 3-0 or anything. So, what are we going to do? 2-1? What are you thinking? I've gone 2-1 if we win. If we do win, I've said it 2-1.
Yeah, the funniest thing is that I have an FPL chat with my friends. I'm playing fantasy, right?
Nice.
And they were asking me if they should transfer in some Spurs players, and I told them I think that this game will be a 1-0 ball fest. 1 goal, no attacking returns or whatever. And I actually think that it might be that we might win 1-0 or 2-1 if we are going to win. And I think that I'm going to predict that. I think 2-1 is a really nice scoreline. But, listen, I won't be surprised if we draw or lose, right? As I said, it's Old Trafford after all. And I won't really be mad if we lose, because I don't think United are as weak as people say. I just think that there is things that we can exploit about how they play, right?
I know exactly what you're saying. I would say tell them to throw in Højbjerg, because my fantasy team name is Højbjerg Shoulders, and it's now that Højbjerg is producing the fantasy points, it's just sensational to have that as my team name.
He's one of the best scoring midfielders in the game. That's
the fantasy right now. It's gorgeous. The team name that I have right now with Højbjerg in the side, it's just gorgeous right now, Michael. Everything is going my way fantasy-wise.
I will quickly say my team is my manager is Content, and Conte is in all capital.
Nice.
That's
what was it? Contenders as well. Somebody used to put in contenders.
I've seen it somewhere.
Who used to do that? Who used to? I forgot. It might have been even Stevie Frazier. I think it could have been a Stevie Frazier in there who used to do that. But Michael, great conversation, my man. Absolute pleasure.
Yes,
brother.
As always, pleasure speaking with you, Jack.
All right, we'll see you soon, brother.
Bye.
Thank you. Come on, you Spurs. Bye. Everybody, big up Michael. Show him some love, please. Such a good conversation I had with Michael. Please pick him up in that chat, and everybody as well. Please keep throwing in your comments. As you can see, I'm trying my best here, throwing those comments up screen, as well as bringing them up as good talking points. But if you do want to skip that queue, feel free to throw it in as a super chat. It's a great way to support the channel as well. Also, is a great way to help support this fan show if you do enjoy hearing what these people have to say. And if you do want to ask them a certain question that you feel like needs to skip the queue and all that good stuff, but everybody will continue to keep putting your comments on screen. I'll continue to engage with them as best I can, but we're going to keep moving on. I'm going to go to Ryan here. Looking forward to what this guy has to say. There we are. Thank you, Ryan, for your patience tonight.
Sorry, I will be eating my another sandwich whilst I've been waiting, because I made one, and then obviously I've made myself another one, so I probably will be eating whilst I'm on.
Appreciate your patience, my man. That's how patient you've been. You found time to make another sandwich. Good man.
Yeah, sorry if I'm just to everybody. Sorry if I make you look hungry, but hey, I'm hungry, so.
I bet you're hungry for 3 points Wednesday. Are you hungry for 3 points, Ryan?
Well, first of all, I wanted to just say something about what Michael said about Conte, that he was a bum. I don't know Michael personally. I'm not gonna criticized.
He didn't say Conte was a bum. He said Klopp was a bum.
Oh, right. I thought he was saying that Conte was.
He was saying Klopp was. He was saying Klopp was. Do you want to hear it, Ryan? Do you want to hear what he said? Because he said Klopp. Remember last season, Klopp said, "Oh, I would never play the way that Spurs do to get that sort of result." All of a sudden, a year later, he's playing with 30% possession to get a win against Man United in his own, or against Man City in his own home ground. So he was saying how much of a bum Klopp is for being a hypocrite.
Oh, right. I thought you were talking about Conte. Sorry, Michael. I probably didn't hear you properly then, mate. Sorry, mate. Anyway, yeah. So, am I hungry for 3 points? Hell yeah. I'm definitely hungry for 3 points.
Did you catch that Newcastle game, that 0-0?
Do you know what? I didn't really watch any part of the United game, even though I normally would before we played.
Well, what does it tell you? If you didn't see it, what is 0-0 at home to Newcastle? A team like Newcastle, they tied 0-0 at home. They couldn't even score in their own home ground. Ryan, what does that tell you?
Shocking is the right word. I could probably have played my 6-year-old and he probably would have had a better outing at Newcastle with Newcastle. Do you know what I mean?
Does that mean they're going to go into this one looking for revenge, or does that mean they're up for the taking?
Man United? Are we talking about the old Man United here? Because they can't seem to pick up points anywhere. They were in what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Transition. That's it. Of managing, right? So then they're not going to get anywhere. They're not going to look for revenge. Yeah. They wouldn't even know what revenge was if it come and smacked them in the face.
Definitely, Ryan. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Ten Hag this season? I've asked some people about how they've already been down 4-0 at 2 separate occasions this season.
Ryan, well, that'll happen again Wednesday. That's all I need to say on that. It'll happen again Wednesday.
Ooh, how do we do that? Do we sit back? Do we counter? Do we press them high up the pitch? How do you want Spurs to set up for this game?
You know what? I think the best way we deal with this, right? If we want to go 4-0 up at halftime, I blatantly think it's easy. Their new signing, that's whoever. Well, I think Michael or someone before Michael said the name, who they didn't know if they was actually good enough or not.
For Man United?
Yeah.
Casemiro, I'm not sure.
No, not Casemiro. It was the defender.
Oh, Varane. Yeah.
No, not Varane. The other one. He's partner
Lisandro Martinez.
Yeah, that's the one, Martinez.
What are your thoughts on him, my man?
Him. Just literally get at him.
Yeah, do you target him? Because I was asking earlier, do you try to target him?
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. You've got no choice but to. You have to attack him.
Yeah, definitely. How do you think, Spurs can win this game coming into this game? Do you think we go 3-5-2 or 3-4-3, Michael?
Michael? Hang on, get my name.
Ryan.
Michael.
Come on, Ryan. Give me a break, man. My man. How do you set up for this game? Gone through 6 guests already. Give me a break, brother. I've gotten your name right this whole time. Come on. It's 5 out of 6.
Yeah,
5 out of 6.
Yeah, no, true. No, seriously, I think what was the question again? Sorry, I was so
set up 3-4-3 or 3-5-2.
Well, it worked against who was it? We played early on in the season. I know we played 3-5-2 once, didn't we, this year?
We played against Brighton. We played it against Leicester, and then we've just actually played it in the second half most recently.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be the 3-5-2 because it worked perfectly against Leicester, didn't it? Look how many we banged past them.
What did your thoughts on it against Brighton? Because with Brighton, we actually started with it.
Yeah, I think we should start with it. To be honest, I think it was the right thing to do. Have your man up there in that midfield. Don't even need to say it.
Mr. Højbjerg.
Yeah.
Mr. Basuma and Mr. Bentancur, all three.
All three there. And then I would also have Spence starting. Okay. And I know I heard one of the other callers say that it would damage his confidence. But to be honest, look at Harry Kane, right? He went away out on loan, yeah, right? And then he came in for big matches when he came back.
Yeah.
And what? So then just because we're worried about somebody's confidence, okay, I understand the confidence can be a bit of a problem sometimes. But Spencer's already proven it against teams like Arsenal and Leicester. So why don't we just throw him in the deep end? Stop giving all the excuses saying, oh, well, his confidence could be knocked if we play bad. This is Man United, for God's sake. They're not.
Is that the deepest of deep ends, though? Is that the too deep of a deep end?
No, because it's got to be more of an attacking kind of defender, isn't he? I personally think he's got, and anyway, he's got the speed. He's got the speed to literally get up and down that pitch for 90 minutes, and then he'd be able to help out your boy Højbjerg as well.
Yeah, there you go. You're absolutely right. Love to see my boy Højbjerg helped out. You're absolutely right, Ryan. 3-5-2, unless Kulu is fit for the 3-4-3, says Tyler. That's how a lot of people feel about this one, Ryan, is that if Kulusevski is fully fit, who do you play?
Tyler, even if Kulu is fit, I still think we go for the 3-5-2.
Okay. He's full confidence in Basuma. He's trying to help out my guy Højbjerg, Ryan is. But Ryan, guys, 2 more questions for you, my man. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on just Man United in general this season? Like, are they a team that can just show up against us? Like, will they maybe turn into a different team, or could we actually be, like you said, able to take them and maybe be like a 2-0 up at halftime or something like that?
Nah, Man United, they're not. Look, we've got to remember this, yeah, right? They're not the Man United of old, are they? For starters, right? Ronaldo is another year older. All right, they got lucky because Ronaldo scored that late winner against us at Old Trafford last year, right? But he's not getting any younger. He's not performing as well as he should do. And sorry, I'm talking with my mouth full. Sorry, everyone. I know that's rude. But I personally think Ronaldo's part. I mean, look how he's.
Is he past it? Could he still hurt us? I mean, he got 3 goals. He got a hat trick.
I was actually scared to use that word because I said that last year where I thought he was past it, and
then he buried us.
He bit me in the arse. So I didn't want to go out and say that, but let's just put it like this, Jack. You're the one that said it, right?
I didn't say it. I asked you.
Well, no, but you can't. You actually, that's a dangerous word in football, though. Even if you was asking the question, it's a dangerous question to ask because Ronaldo isn't. I wouldn't say he's past it, but I would say. I don't know. I mean, I don't see Ronaldo as the big threat, and I don't see Anthony as the big threat, to be honest.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on him? Is that
Anthony
overrated, underrated, too left-footed? What are your thoughts?
I think overall he's underrated. Okay, yeah, it's only his first season. It's okay. Granted, it's only his first season in the Premier League, right? But I've heard, because funnily enough, I spoke to my bubble blower friend yesterday, right? And he actually rates him.
You're speaking of bubble blowers.
Well, one of my bubble blower friends.
Oh, okay. I know David's not happy about that. That's the Irish Hotspur derby we're talking about here, Ryan.
Yeah, no, but he kind of like turned around and said to me that he even rated Anthony. So, to be honest, I obviously make my own decisions on things like that. I personally think once he's settled in properly, he'll have a good career there. But will he have the kind of career that Ronaldo's had? No. Will he have a career like Richarlison's had? Hell no. What's Dave just said? Put that back up. I want to see that.
Ryan he said I Jim Whited you.
Oh, fuck off.
I made you say it, Ryan. I made you say it. I made you say it is what he's saying. I made you say it. I tricked you into saying it. I tricked you into saying it. I could tell you weren't happy about it. You know, Ryan, like I said, I owe you one. I owe you one, Ryan, for next time. I owe you one, brother.
Yeah. But no,
yeah.
No, seriously, with Anthony though, I kind of like think once he's got used to the league, he'll be he'll settle down and have a good career. He won't be as good as Richarlison though. He will not be anywhere near as good as Richarlison, but he will have a good career.
Yeah, definitely. Ryan, give me that score prediction, brother.
4-3.
4-3. What a worldie. I mean, who's scoring 4 goals for us? Who's scoring it? Like, tell me, break it down. I mean, who's getting those goals? I need Man United goals too. Another Ronaldo hat trick. What's on the cards here?
No, not a Ronaldo hat trick. First of all, I'm gonna put your boy on the score sheet, Højbjerg, for a goal.
Come on.
Look at Jack. He's loving it. He's reminiscing in this now, isn't it?
Love Højbjerg.
Højbjerg to get 1. Sonny to get 1.
Okay.
Kane to get 1.
Okay.
And do you know what? I know it's going to sound barbaric, but I'm actually going to say Hugo Lloris to get the other.
So what is it? 3-3 at the depth? The 90th minute corner. Allison gets a header or something, or like Allison header kind of situation.
Right? Because Kane will get brought down for a penalty, right? And Kane will just say, "Here you go, take it."
Okay, well, there you go, everybody. He's gonna turn into a FIFA situation.
Yeah, well, you want in my United goal scorers as well. Anthony to get 2, and I'd say, Rashford to get 1.
Rashford's the man in form. That is a good guess there when it comes to, I would say, better prediction on the Man United scores is what I would say, right? But appreciate you tuning in, my man. Thank you for coming on. Thanks for your patience as well. We'll get you on earlier next time, brother.
No, that's cool, man.
Come on, you Spurs, Brian. Thank you for coming.
Come on, you Spurs!
There you are, everybody. There you are. Big up, Brian. There you go. Ease the eardrums now, everybody. The eardrums can now be relieved. But big up, Brian, absolute legend. All over the place with the score predictions on that one. And I must say, a 4-3 sounds like an absolute ball. I'm looking forward to it. Lloris with the winner. Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want a Lloris winner? Come on now, everybody. We all want that Lloris winner. But we're going to go on. P-Dubs. I know you were in there in the very, very beginning, and I didn't get to say a word to you. But P-Dubs, if you are there, hit that link. Come on. I haven't taken it down yet. At least I'm pretty sure I haven't. And so if you still have that link, feel free to come on because you were after Ryan and I haven't seen you come on yet. So P-Dubs, if you're still listening, hit that link and I'll bring you on. But I am going to bring on KPV next, Mr. Dubs, if that's okay. But I saw you were there nice and early in the back end. You were chatting with us earlier, P-Dubs. So if you are able to come on, feel free, my man. I kept your spot in line. I have the order there for you. But if you're not able to, I am going to go on to KPV. 3, 2, 1. Okay, it's going to be KPV time. Then P-Dubs will get you on right after him. Pick up KPV.
Yo.
Kyle Kulisevsky, Kainz, and all the Vineyard. What are you trying to do to me, KPV?
I don't know, man. Just I'm hoping, the ginger from Sweden can play because, I miss the guy. He's been a brilliant player this season. He's been providing the assist and getting the goal. But his goal was at home against the Saints, 4-1. But hopefully he will play. But the boss doesn't want to risk it and play him. But maybe he's probably saving him for the Newcastle game. But this game, revenge is coming. They beat us last season because the team was probably not doing great. But they couldn't beat Newcastle thanks to Kieran Trippier getting me fantasy points and Nick Pope. I got 2 I think they've been the best 2 players for Newcastle, and Trippier is now undefeated against Ronaldo. he beat Ronaldo with Spurs, that was with us in the Champions League, and now Ronaldo's not beaten him. So, and Ronaldo got yellow carded. So
sounds like we need him for the next game then, for right wing back, Kyle.
Yeah, I think like looks like we need him. But
did you get to watch that game, Newcastle and Man United?
Did you catch the
highlights?
Yeah. I watched the highlights. I've just watched the highlights already, and I must say Newcastle should have gotten a penalty because the referee didn't give them it, and
also Joe Linton missed an absolute sitter. KPV.
Joe Linton, he always turns up when we play against them, and he's only got 1 goal, and that was when we just moved in at the start of the season, a couple of seasons ago. But he's been their best player for me, I think. But this game, we're going to win. Revenge is coming. Old Trafford, our record there isn't good, but we've won there 4 times. As I said, the scores are different. We won 3-2 under AVB, 2-1 under Tim Sherwood. That was New Year's Day 2014. Then 3-0 under Poch, August 2018. And when there was no fans, we won 6-1 under Mourinho. So
the pub quiz, the pub quiz knowledge, KPV. KPV, you absolutely smashed that question. Imagine if they asked you, name the last 4 wins at Man United. I mean, you absolutely smashed that one, KP. I mean, let's talk about it. Knowledge.
Let's get the win. Let's get the win for a 5th time. 5.
Come on.
Their home record hasn't been great. They lost to Brighton and then lost to Brentford 4-0. So they've been, 4-0 down 2 times, and let's make that 3 because they were poor yesterday, and let's beat them. Score prediction, I would love a 6-1, but I don't think that's going to happen, but I want a clean sheet, so let's say 5-0. 5. I want 5-0, man.
You want 5-0, KPV? I mean, that sounds like we're going for the COVID score, like the 6-1, like you said. How's it going to happen? And also, we were speaking about this earlier, KPV, where Eric Ten Hag has been down 4-0 at halftime, 2 separate times this season. Could we be up 4-0 or 3-0 even at halftime? Is that possible? It could be. Is that on the cards?
Yeah, it's on the cards. Like, he's been 4-0 down against Brentford and Man City. That was in a derby just a couple of weeks ago. So let's make it 3 times. And because, he hasn't come up against us yet. I know he did for Ajax, but we beat him. Can we beat him again? Of course. We knocked him out when he was at Ajax. Lucas got a hat-trick, and Lucas actually scored at Old Trafford when we won 3-0 under Poch. So Kane and Son against United again. Let's do this. And goal scorers, I've got to put Højbjerg on there. Højbjerg, brilliant. He scored at the weekend. So
thoughts on him being in my fantasy team, KPV, and also my fantasy team name is Højbjerg's Shoulders FC. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, brilliant name. I don't think anyone's gonna probably have that name now that you've got it, because
I would have to shoulder them myself.
Yeah, I literally just brought him in because I know Son hasn't scored this weekend, but he did against Leicester, and he provided assist against Brighton. But yeah, hopefully he can score because he's scored against United home and away under Mourinho. We lost 3-1 at home, but let's win at Old Trafford and then get the home win in the new year because they've still got to come to our ground. They've only won there twice under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as his name is. So, but this is Ten Hag. I want to beat him for a 2nd time because he's only beaten us once. That was at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Ajax. But let's beat him on Wednesday and let's continue this brilliant run. That'll be
big test Wednesday, KPV.
Big test Wednesday. Destroy them. Because
Daniel Field saying uber knowledge by the KPV. Like I said, he's honestly the first man on the team sheet. If you had a pub quiz coming up, you would just say, where's KPV? Let's get him over here right away. I'd probably fly him in for a pub quiz for the New York, even for the New York Spurs club, KPV. I'd just fly you in, be like my Mbappe sort of signing for the pub quizzes. Good stats from KPV. This man is a walking library, says Dunkel Z Torque. Absolute legend. Sorry, KPV.
Yeah, and I heard we're interested in Brian Daigle's brother, twin brother Bonucci, who wants to leave Juventus. And Conte and Kulu and Bentancur know him well, so let's sign him because Bonucci, we need another Italian player who I don't think we've ever had. Have we had any Italian players? I don't think we have.
Would you a Bonucci? I mean, he's quite old. He's quite old, my man. And do you think is he like a Thiago Silva? Can he do it? Irish Hotspur David saying, KPV, my man. When I am not the best or in a bad mood, I see you on some Spurs channel. You just cheer me right up every time. Never ever change, my man. You are an infectious.
Big up, Dave. Get well soon, my man. Hopefully, I'll see you. Maybe I don't know sometime. Next
thoughts on my decision, Dave, or thoughts on my decision, KPV, to rest Dave. I decided to give him, kind of the Kulusevski treatment.
Yeah.
Get him ready for Man United, not risk him for the fan show tonight. In consideration that I need to get him ready for Wednesday. So would Conte be proud of me? KPV would be proud
Conte
of my game management.
Conte would be proud because you don't want to risk him like tonight because he's like getting a Kulu treatment and
exactly
because. Like the good news is, Rich ain't gonna miss the World Cup because Brazil would have.
I don't want Dave missing the World Cup. That's what happened. I got to give him. Dave's getting an MRI. He's getting a scan right now from the Irish Hotspur. We're giving him the Richarlison treatment at the same time.
Yeah, giving him the Richarlison treatment.
Hopefully, with Dave, he'll be back by Wednesday. He's not missing the World Cup or anything. But
he's not missing it because let's do this. Let's destroy Man United because they got beaten in Manchester Derby. They were destroyed. I would love a 6-1, but I want 6-0, but I said 5. But Ben's gone for 1-0 in Premier League predictions and Tim's gone for a draw. But I want to win, man, not a draw. I'm tired of losing to these lot. Let's destroy them. I don't want to lose for a third time because that's really going to make Arsenal fans happy. They're going to wind us up, but no chance. And Rashford, wherever you are, get off this channel, mate, if you're watching, because you're not going to score, kid. You failed to score yesterday, so good luck with trying to score, kiddo. You're going down on Wednesday, mate. You're getting destroyed. Conte's record there is not great. He's lost 2 times with Chelsea, but let's get the win there with him at our club. He wants revenge that he's lost twice, and so can he get his first win there? Let's do this. Goal scorers, obviously I've gone for your man Højbjerg.
Come on, everybody's gone for a Højbjerg goal. What's up with that? Is that just because I whispered it into the mic? I did whisper it a few times into the mic, KPV. Franco Martini saying, KPV, how could you forget about our Italians, Nicola Berti, Carlo Cudicini, and Pierluigi
Gallini. I'm on about are they goalkeepers or midfield? I know Gallini's a goalkeeper.
I don't know. I mean, Gallini's the only other Italian I remember in this team.
Cudicini, I think. But Bonucci, I would like him because, I think he'll be brilliant. Centre back. Romero played against him and he was at Atalanta, so why not? He would be a great centre back. I think Sanchez ain't really that great, so maybe replacement for him. Swap him, Bonucci, Sanchez swap deal, and Sanchez going to the Serie A instead of going back to Ajax because that's where we bought him from. But Bonucci and a swap deal would be brilliant. Conte, Kulu, Bentancur know him well, so another Juventus player to sign would be nice in January. And Brian Daigle's twin brother, I know Brian looks like him. I said that to him. So, and I just want to say rest in peace to Hagrid from Harry Potter. Really shocking. Another legend has gone. Rest in peace to Robert Coltrane, I think. And I heard another Tottenham player passed. I think it was John someone, whatever his name was. John. So rest easy. And congrats to Benzema winning the Ballon d'Or. He fully deserves. Lloris must be proud of his French teammate ahead of the World Cup. So congrats to Benzema. Everyone probably predicted that. So congrats to him. And Wednesday, let's just destroy Man United because I don't like them. They always beat us, but this time revenge is coming. No Ronaldo hat-trick because I just don't like the guy who always seems to score against us. Done it with Sir Alex. And
don't want that.
No hat-trick for him. So, but a clean sheet. Another clean sheet.
5-0 clean sheet. Man United are in the mud. That's
Yeah,
what we're talking about,
yeah,
KPV.
we're gonna
Love that score
destroy them.
prediction.
Love that. And let's get the win. Then we focus on Sunday against Newcastle, then Sporting, and yeah, those wins are important. 2 home games, Newcastle, Sporting. So yeah, hopefully Kulu should be back for one of those games because yeah, he's been scoring well. But yeah, we
Definitely.
let's get
KPV,
the win.
appreciate you coming on, my man. Great conversation, great
Let's get
talking
the win
points.
on
5-0
Wednesday.
to the lads, 5-0 to the Spurs. Everybody's absolutely loving your Bonucci, Brian Daigle comparison. They're loving plenty more. You had to say, KPV, you're an absolute
Yeah,
legend. People
let's
love
do
you over
this.
here. You brighten their
Get the
day.
win. Yeah, let's get the win on Wednesday. Do it for John.
Do it for
John
John.
Piero. Do it for him because I know he'd be watching. And let's get the win for all the Spurs legends who are no longer with us. But I know it's a Teddy Sheringham derby on Wednesday. Another derby. Teddy Sheringham played for both these clubs. So, yeah, Teddy Sheringham's Tottenham through and through. He did play for Man United. But, yeah, he's probably going to want Spurs to win. So, hope you're watching, Teddy. And put Tottenham for the win, my man. So let's go.
For the win. Sheringham Derby. Everybody, if you love KPV, you can find him everywhere in the Tottenham community. Find him especially on Weird Time TV. He loves showing up there as well. Absolute legend. Big FIFA rival as well of the big Tottenham community as well. Pumping the chest he is. He Spurs through and through. Kissing the badge. There he is, KPV. We'll be seeing you, brother. We'll be seeing you.
It. Let's do this. Come on, you Spurs. In
Come
contact.
on, you Spurs. World class. Pick up KPV. We'll be
seeing
you, Big up, everybody. Show KPV some love. World class, says Tyler. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. I'll be whispering plenty into Højbjerg's ear. Don't you worry, Mia. But last guest of the evening, everybody. I'm going to be taking the link down right away this moment. So, everybody, if you did or you were saving the link, feel free to come in now. So that I can know that you're coming in. No kind of, buzzer beaters or anything. I am going to end off with Dermot. If there is someone coming in after the likes of Dermot, feel free to hit the link right now as we speak. But Dermot, we're going to end off with him from THFC Till I Die. Dermot, how we keeping?
Not too bad. Give us 2 minutes there, Jack. Sorry.
No worries, Dermot. No worries. Really good conversation so far, everybody. Like I said, taking down the link right now. So if you do have it saved, feel free to hit it. Just had it deleted. So everybody, if you did have that link saved, feel free to come now. But Dermot, it looks like you might be the last guest of the evening. What are we talking about? Sticking with Man United, you want to maybe touch about Everton? What are we talking about, brother?
Look, the Everton game was a good 90 minutes performance, let's be fair. Everton just came for the point, and we proved we can break down low block teams when we go to a 3-5-2. And Basuma played brilliant. Højbjerg, I mean, he was man of the match for me, apart from that one mistake when him and Romero got in each other's way. But it was a good team performance. Our 10th win in a row at home. And it just shows that we are in a title race. As people may not like it, but we are. And Man City losing yesterday to Liverpool. How Arsenal got a result at Leeds, I do not know. And, we can do it this year. Tottenham can do it, and I'm very confident we're going to win something this year, but why not the league?
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts after that Everton game, Dermot? Do you feel like Spurs looked more solid? Is there something that Spurs improved upon after that game? Is there something you saw that you didn't see in other games?
I think it was just, we seemed to be, at the start of the game, we were all over them. We flew out of the box, which we haven't seen in some other games where we've been quite slow out of the box, or the first half has been quite slow. So the Leicester game was what the Brighton game. Away to Brighton, we were fast out of the box, and Everton as well. So that was different. Conte changing it early as well. I know Richarlison got injured and sort of forced his hand. But that was good as well. It was just a good performance. It was great to see. And maybe we can, this early form was just because we were overtrained in pre-season. And maybe it's just going to take us a bit of time to get into the running of things. And again, another performance, another clean sheet. Very, very happy with that. And then we'll go to Man United, where we haven't got the best record, to be fair. I think we've won only, we've won 3 or 4 times in the past 7 or 8 seasons there at Old Trafford. Yeah. When I was a kid, it was the last time we won there. Jesus was a baby. I mean, we always lost at home and away to Man United. We were 3-0 up, I think, in 2001. We were 3-0 up at home, and we lost 5-3.
Does it feel different this time around then, Dermot? Because we have won there before 6-1 at one stage. We have beat the likes of Man United. We have found a way to get big results against them. I don't know. Is it possible this time around? But I agree with you. It's in the far past, way back in the day, it was pretty much an impossible result to hope for, getting 3 points. But nowadays, Man United, they don't feel like the same team. And a lot of people have brought this up, that Man United are not the same team that they've been in the past. So are 3 points more possible this time around?
Yeah, they are. This is the best time to play them. They're in disarray. They really are. Players don't want to play. Some of the players don't want to play for the manager. Ronaldo I think United's there's a rot in the dressing room. I think Ronaldo has something to do with it as well. And I think this is a great time to play them. I think they're not the team they were. And it's going to take Man United another 3 or 4 seasons to get back to anywhere near the top 4. I just don't think they're going to do it in the next 3 or 4 seasons. If we can go and get 3 points at Old Trafford and then beat Newcastle, I think that really would put a statement down. If we get 3 points Wednesday, that would show the Premier League we're serious.
Yeah.
And I think we will. I don't think it'll be a 4 or 5-0. I think if we can get out with a 2-0, I'd be happy with that. And I think we just need to be concentrating. We need to be disciplined. And we need to just do our jobs. And if we can do our jobs correctly and get them on the break, because Man United are very vulnerable on the break, teams counter-attack them, I think we'll get a 2-0 victory. And I'm very, very hopeful of that.
Have you seen Conte's press conference yet, Dermot? He spoke basically about the 3-4-3 and how it is a possibility coming into this game. Dunkel Z Torque talk about Perisic as potential forward guys. He mentioned Brian Hill could come into the 3-4-3. He said Perisic could play as a striker. He could play on the right, play as a right winger in this upcoming game. So that basically alludes to, like, if he wanted to play a 3-4-3, and if Kulusevski wasn't available, he could play Perisic as a right winger. Thoughts on Conte's press conference?
I haven't seen the press conference yet. I'm looking at it tomorrow because we're doing the show on Wednesday about his press conference. So I'm looking at it tomorrow. For what I have seen in it, I think he will start with the 3-4-3. Me and Ellie talked about it last night, and Ellie thought they would start with the 3-5-2. And I think we will start with the 3-4-3.
Why is that?
I just think I think we look comfortable with it on Saturday. I just think, when we change to 3-5-2, I think it opens us up. We feel more. It gives people more space to do what they have to do. But I just think with the 3-4-3, teams find this hard to break us down, and I think we're more compact, if you know what I mean. I think a 3-5-2, we've got more freedom, more attacking, and that way. And going up to Old Trafford, I think you start with the 3-4-3, and then you see how the game develops. I think, personally, he will start with Hill on the right if Kulu's not fit enough.
He'll start with Hill, not Perisic?
I don't think so. I think he'll start with Hill. I think Hill deserves to start.
So does that mean Perisic goes to the left wing back, Sessegnon goes to the left wing back? Where does Perisic go? Go on the bench?
I put him on the left. I would put him on the left wing back. I put Doherty on the right, and I put Hill on that side where Richarlison is. I think Richarlison we need to see more of Hill. We need to see what he's like from the start, and I think he will start with him, because when he came on against Frankfurt, he was a little live wire. I was absolutely over the moon, because he deserves a bit of luck. He just has not had the game time. But when he's been playing in Spain, he was playing very well in Spain for what I saw of him. So put him where Richarlison is, put Perisic on the left, and just do it that way. And then if it doesn't go to plan, then change to a 3-5-2 at half time or with substitutions. I think that's what worked with us against Everton. We changed it and we were able to change it up. And I think Everton couldn't cope with that. And then that's when we just stepped up again. So I think that's what Conte would do. But look, it's important that we're compact and we don't give any stupid mistakes away or concede any silly goals. We've got to be compact, we've got to be disciplined, and we've got to be professional. Man United are not playing well at the moment, but they can
show up against us. They're that sort of team that can just all of a sudden start playing well. And I think we saw that against Chelsea, Dermot, where Tuchel in that game, his Chelsea side just showed up all of a sudden in that game, and then they continued to tank it after that game. It was just weird. I mean, they showed up for one game. I think there is that potential that Man United could do that.
I think if there's one game that worries me, there's two games that worries me. It's Arsenal away, Chelsea away, and Man United away. Because I think at home, we can beat any one of them. That's not a problem. But I think away at home, with our record at Old Trafford, I think we've got to be disciplined. We've got to be professional. We've got to be 100% on our jobs. And we've got to do our jobs properly and not concede any stupid goals, not make any mistakes. And I think we'll get away with a 2-0 win. If we do that, then, we're on our way. And I think then that will send a big marker out to the Premier League. Tottenham Hotspur are back, and we're back in a big way.
Definitely. Last question before we let you plug the channel, Dermot, and then we'll get your score prediction as well. Richarlison has actually gotten some good news, and he's actually only going to be out for 2 weeks. What are your thoughts on that? Were you really worried about that? I mean, he could have been missing the World Cup, basically.
I was upset for him. Well, not upset, but I was sad for him that he could miss the World Cup. I think it's great he's only out for 2 weeks. I think it's great as well that he's not going to miss the World Cup, because it's every player's dream to play in the World Cup. And Richarlison deserves to be there as much as anybody. And I think he's done a good job for us. I don't think he's a good winger. I think he's more of a front man. And I think when Kulo's back, that's what he will be used for, more for a replacement for Harry. But look, I'm glad it's not serious, and to get to play in the World Cup is every player's dream. So no, I'm really pleased for him, and I'm over the moon that he's going to get to play for his country. And look, my tip for the World Cup is Argentina or Brazil. I think either one of them will win the World Cup this year. So to have a World Cup winner, we'll have Luis, who's won the World Cup, and having that Richarlison could win the World Cup. So that's good winning mentality to bring back into a dressing room as well. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. And I like that World Cup prediction, Dermot. Tell us about the channel. Anything coming up, Dermot, on THFC Till I Die?
Yeah, we're going to be quite busy now for the next couple of weeks on THFC. We're only 5 away from 700 subscribers, so we're trying to get there. Hopefully we'll get there before tomorrow's show. Ellie's starting her ladies show tomorrow at 2:00 live on the channel, where we're going to discuss the women's side of the game, Spurs women, talk about their win against Liverpool over the weekend as well, and look ahead to their game next weekend. We've got a new daily starting on Wednesday from 2. We're doing new THFC Till I Die news beat, where we're just going to do a daily hour news about Tottenham news, and of course a bit about the press conference today as well. So we're going to bring that up on Wednesday. We've got watch-alongs, we've got the pre-match, we've got the post-match. And then 2 weeks or 3 weeks Friday, we are doing a 24-hour charity stream for children and adults with autism, ADHD, and mental health, where we want to raise money, especially for children coming up to Christmas and families that are struggling, just to help them with their, with toys and something for the child if they need a light in their bedroom, or something for the sensory room, which is quite... It's quite, and also because I'm diagnosed with it myself, it's very close to my heart. So so we're doing that. We're going to do a full 24-hour stream. So me and Ellie are going to come up with old games. We're going to do a quiz. We're going to do some FIFA 23 stuff as well. So looking forward to it. But please like and subscribe. We're only 5 away from 700, so if we can get there before tomorrow's stream, that would be lovely. But everyone like and subscribe here first, because these lads deserve it, because these are the mothership.
Show Dermot some love. Let's get him over the finish line for 700. That's a great milestone to hit 700. Only so many more until 1,000, Dermot. Really appreciate you coming on, brother. Thanks for your patience as well. And I'll speak to you later, brother.
Yeah, I'll speak to you later, Jack. Take care.
All right. Catcha. Everybody show Dermot some love in the chat as always. Please check out THFC Till I Die, especially Ellie's shows. Those sounded really good as well, especially if you're looking for some content about the women's team, which certainly I think should be more out there. It definitely should be more out there. I just released a video as well, everybody, on flatcapeurotalk. The scout reports are coming thick and fast. I am going to try to find some sort of system to be able to blend the Irish Hotspur content and the flatcap content at the same time. Produce a video today about a very, very, very unique striker who plays on Udogi's team, Beto, a Portuguese striker, 6'4", very, very pacey, almost like a Portuguese Holland is what I would say. So if you are interested in that one, take a look at it. Only 8 minutes long, and certainly a good video. So would encourage you to take a look at it. Hit that like button. But the Flatcap Euro Talk is going to awaken. It's been kind of dormant for some time, you could say, but is going to be coming back, everybody. So would really appreciate support over there. David should be back sometime soon. Like I said, everybody decided to give him the Kulusevski treatment tonight. Kind of let him rest easy. Hopefully he can come back fit and firing tomorrow or Wednesday. But we are going to try to make him be able to be best for at least the game days, because we know we want the full team. We want the full squad on the Irish Hotspur come the game days, everybody. But really appreciate you all tuning in. Really appreciate all the support, especially while I've been solo on this one. Smash that like button on your way out, everybody. Put your comments down below if you did enjoy the show. That'll be all for now. Really appreciate you all tuning in for this one. Like I said, really appreciate you all supporting me as well on this little solo journey through the fan show. But yeah, come on, you Spurs. On to Man United we go. We do have, I think, the big debate show as well lined up tomorrow on a Tuesday. So as always, everybody, daily content to be looking forward to. But that'll be all for now, everybody. Come on, you Spurs. In Conte we trust, and I will be seeing you.